There's no. I bet the people that were doing it quit.
What I was thinking is like,
I'm sure they said, "Oh no."
they're out there shopping.
They probably got.
That's true. They would shoot you walking out of the building. There is no.
So you know.
I bet they were doing it quit.
They were looking for people on our board, the ARB, this board.
In Nueces County.
Oh, in Oasis County.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, and I was just,
I thought you could play it here, and I was like,
they had to throw the net out pretty wide if they're putting out ads on the radio.
That's bad.
I'm sorry.
It's kinda weird.
You can have some of my
Maybe
fresh.
it's all
Okay.
interesting.
Just
The
can't
ads
add
they put on
anything.
89.5.
If you want some Fresca, you are more than welcome.
I got coffee too.
Like, no, we didn't know that.
Is it in person?
It's on the phone. You just called, so.
we have it in person here?
We'll have it in person sometime.
We would.
Get down. Quit.
You're driving her crazy.
Maddie, good girl. Look at her. Look at
Sorry, I
her.
have to add this person.
Is she growling or barking?
No, she's not growling. She's just.
Oh no, there's nobody here yet, so we're good.
Yeah, there
Wait,
are.
watch this, Eamon. Wait, okay.
No,
Wait,
they're not.
you gotta move over. Maddie.
I think they all went outside.
Okay. It was hysterical because when she was like, woo, and her little head would pop up.
There's that evil
It's a
laughing.
wild one.
I wish our office could have dogs.
You
We need
could.
a therapy dog.
Somebody has to get dogs home.
I have 2 dogs, I'll bring them up.
No,
I have a cat.
Just
Bring
say
up
that
Freya up here.
no.
Just put a vest on it and say it's a therapy dog.
I could bring Faye.
Yeah.
Everybody else does.
I know, that's what they do when they come to restaurants, isn't it?
Yes.
Tolerant cat that has ever existed, ever. She's just, it's weird how
She's gone through.
she is with everything. Like she's asleep and you walk over there and you grab the foot and push on her bottom of
Oh,
her
there's
foot.
not one in there yet.
And just
No, I
mess
know,
with it
but
and hit her
they
and
probably
she doesn't
haven't.
move.
Right.
just
next
doing
to
it.
her.
My cat would go through the ceiling.
Yeah, she just totally like,
Whatever.
pick her up, the kids pick her up and carry her around and we're having
It's on
to,
the phone. You
don't do that.
I usually do.
Carry her like a sack of flour, you know?
I
go around
here,
and
take a paper.
Super
I know.
hard.
I
man.
know.
But on top of that, she's
We're having
really good
crazy days
outside. She's like an inside-outside
Huh?
cat. And she goes
Girl
out
day
and
with
she's
Aiden.
real skittish.
Uh-huh.
Like,
So it doesn't go very far.
yeah, well, I don't know.
Which one
I don't
is
know how
it?
far she goes. But when we moved,
Oh, it's
she
the,
disappeared for like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And my wife was
not Hill
really
House,
sad.
not,
And it turned out she came back.
Cellular,
Apparently, when you
cellular.
move, sometimes
Bullard.
cats will like
yeah,
scout
Check
the
it
area
out.
around the
They're,
perimeter and like map out the area.
Johnny Gillis.
They're also nervous that sometimes they try to go back to where they came from.
That's what we thought she was gonna do, but apparently she was just looking around and she's just.
They have
No,
to
he's
map
actually
out
calling
their
him for 30.
They
territory.
have to see, they gotta know.
Nobody else
Females,
is.
not so much as males.
We only have the other 2. Looks like it's gonna be easy morning. 10 o'clock's an input, some with the same drive.
Normally I have 3, I only have 2 right now.
Yeah,
Thomas.
yeah, this one's a female cat. and
The
She's
stupid one from yesterday.
she's just
Did you
insanely
get her from the Humane Society?
No, we found her in the trash. We call her the trash can.
Yeah, that's how
You having a good day, Ramona?
This morning, yeah.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
It wasn't terribly hot out this
If
morning.
we could have a dog, I'd
I
have
try not to even go there.
Outside, but then you still get it on you. And
It's supposed to be bad heat index today.
Short haired dog, you want it?
What kind?
what kind of,
She's a blue lacy and she's really
She gets hives of dogs and liquor.
Oh,
She'll get
is it?
hives. And
She's gonna be a year next month.
what is she?
Blue
Grow
lacy,
How
like
big
a
is
herd
she?
dog.
How big is she?
She's pretty good size.
Oh, that's too big for me.
Is it like-
I'm looking for a dog, but that's.
Is it like a healer?
No,
What do they look like?
she's all black.
Is she
She a
behaved?
lab?
They
She's
kinda look
really
like a
smart,
skinny
but
lab.
She's an alpha dog. So I have a dog and I have cats and she likes to try to herd them and manage them.
Oh,
and they don't like
I've
that.
got cats. They wouldn't like that.
Yeah, she needs to be like on her own but we're working with her. She's getting better.
She needs to be the first dog so that she can tell everybody.
Yes,
else
she
what-
is.
All right, he's in. You're ready?
Mhm.
Yeah, is this, Perry Bullard?
Yes.
Okay.
It
This
is
is agent.
Agent John Gillis.
Got it.
Ready?
What case is this?
Oh, see the number, Grace?
We're gonna open the
1113.
hearing and stuff, right?
Oh, yeah, Cindy.
1113?
Are you saying Cindy? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yes,
There.
yes, this is 1113.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. So, is this Mr. Bullard?
Mhm.
No.
No, this is his agent. I'm his son-in-law, Mr. John Gillis.
John Gillis. Okay, so can I call you John?
Yes, you may.
Excuse me, may I call you John?
Yes.
Okay, so, we've got to do some paperwork real quick and then we'll start the hearing, okay?
All right, that'll be fine.
So if you'll just hang with us and I'll tell you when I need you to speak also.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so this is case number, we are opening the hearings for the day. This is case number 2020-1113, account number 27967. This hearing is being recorded. We are the Appraisal Review Board that will be hearing your protest today. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. At the end of the hearing, you may complete a survey regarding your experience. It may be completed using a survey form and emailed to a specific address or online survey. The survey is voluntary. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 41.45H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. So, John, have you submitted everything that you intend to use today for
Yes,
evidence?
ma'am, I sent notarized affidavit and it should have arrived on Friday. And that should have all the evidence.
Is it in there?
Mhm.
Okay, so yes, we have received that. Awesome. Okay. All right, the ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest, and they are signing an affidavit to that effect. And with that, I'll start. I, Cindy Duck, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F, and I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
I, Elizabeth Piccarazzi, am notarizing Ramona's signature. I also am located in.
Now, or
Yeah. Now it's going to do it. Yeah, you have to tell him that he's sworn in.
okay. Hey, and John,
Yes,
okay. So because you turned in the affidavit of evidence and it's been notarized, we're assuming that all of your testimony, that you'll do it under oath.
okay. I can swear to that however you want to do that.
What we're saying is you're considered under oath to sign the affidavit.
Okay,
And I, Annenberg, do solemnly swear affirm that the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board of the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
all right, yes.
Okay, and do you hold a license or certificate from the Texas Appraiser Licensing and Certification Board?
No, ma'am.
Awesome, okay. And then, did you get the packet from the appraisal district?
Yes, I believe I did.
Okay, in there was a sheet and it just kind of explained, or it's a listing that shows the hearing procedure times.
Yes, I have that sitting in front of me.
Awesome. Okay, so you get to make a choice today. Would you like to go first, or would you like the district to go first?
I would just assume I would like to have the district go first.
Awesome. Okay, so we will start with the district.
All right,
Okay, 5 minutes.
5 minutes, yeah. The property ID is 27967. It is a single-family residential home in an area known as Shell Ridge. It's on Bay Vista Drive, but that's the road behind Shell Ridge. The last year's value was $126,910, and this year the notice value was $157,460. The comps that were used in our sales grid are other houses that are in Shell Ridge on the drive portion of it. There's 3 of them that sold in the last year or a year and a half with in this little neighborhood. The indicated value, when adjusted to be like the subject for each, indicates the value for the subject at $219,223, $227,870, and $160,176, giving a median indicated value of $219,223, which is well below our notice value of $157,460. It's actually, our notice value is actually even less than the indicated value for the lowest on grid. And the grid is, obviously these are a little bit different houses. We don't get to pick which ones sell, but they get adjusted to be like the subject. So if it's nicer, there's value taken off. And if there are things that the subject has that the comps don't, those things are added on. The land is normalized, and that's how we get our adjusted values for these things, paired comparison. So we're undervalued on this house, but we have been in this neighborhood for a long time. The equity grid just shows other houses that are in this area that are not necessarily sales, but this is comparing them to our values to show that there's nothing unusual being done to this house. So the comps being used are 3SS, a 4FB, and a 5SS, all on Shell Ridge Dry area, little neighborhood. And the median indicated value is 179,578. So we're below our equity value on this one. The sales ratio report included with it is for Shell Ridge and Water Street. And we are at a 1.02 on that whole neighborhood, which is sort of a different little neighborhood. It kind of has its own sort of characteristics, but the drives that was just looking at, we finally had some sales that came across in Shell Ridge Dry. It's a quiet little neighborhood, and this tends to happen. When people hold stuff for a long period of time without a lot of activity, they're appreciating without us knowing exactly how much. And that's the reason for the adjustment. This house and every other property in this neighborhood got a neighborhood adjustment this year. That's all. That's who's our evidence.
Okay, so John, you have 2 minutes for protest or cross-examination and 5 minutes for presentation. So I'll just give you 7 minutes.
Okay.
With your evidence.
All right, then I'll go ahead and start. The first couple of things he talked about was property values, and he mentioned in the last part, and I guess that was a reference to the sales ratio report that was provided to me. And I just had a question on why did they go, obviously they tried to go to a shorefront or water view area, but in there, they provided 21 listings in that sales ratio report. 15 of those aren't even comparable properties. They're Laguna Reef condominiums, very small units, 306 square feet on the most part. There are some larger ones at 602. And the other single family dwellings that were included in that report obviously showed high valuations because they are shorefront. and then there was one that was just land only with no improvement as a waterfront property, and it was pretty high value. And the only thing I can look at is that they tried to use this report as a means to validate or substantiate the appraisal methods and the value ratios for increases, basically on non-comparable properties, which would be a single-family home, as we have out at Shell Ridge. That would conclude my cross-examination piece.
Would you like him to answer the question now?
If they could, that'd be helpful.
Yeah, the sales ratio report is something that gets printed out after we do our work for the year. That's not something we use to guide how we do our job. It's the properties are everything in the region, and a region is a purely geographical set of properties. So it's just going to be stuff nearby. The sort of fundamental question being asked by a sales ratio report is, after the work is done, you say, well, here's the thing. Is the method being used by the appraisal district to generate values, is it lining up with market activity? Do we know how to value property as a general rule in this region? So that's what that number is telling you. We're supposed to be at 100% of everything everywhere. So we're doing a mass appraisal, right? But we're not assuming that this is waterfront. We have it designated as a dry neighborhood. And I know that there's obviously huge differences between condos and residential homes, but there's also differences between Water Street and Shell Ridge. One's in the city and one's not. But the sales ratio report is it's a broader picture, just showing that, on the whole, our value is high, our value is low. And what we want is to see that they're at 100%. Our values are at 101% for this region. That's what it's showing. That's not what instigated change. That's something that was made just for this hearing.
And that's why I said it's just as a means to try to validate or assess what you've done previously. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'm ready for my presentation.
Go ahead.
All right. Okay, the stated reason for the protests are incorrect appraisal or market value and value unequal when compared with other properties. And so I asked myself the question, what should the ARB consider? And one legal text that I've used or have been using as I look at this summarizes a sound approach to evaluating the evidence that is worthy of consideration. 3 words: relevance, reliability, and rightness, the 3 R's. Each of the items I'm going to list now, I think, affect the market value of this property. As you've talked about it, we have been out there for a while. The house was built in 1987. It's 33 years old. The CAD provided appraisal information showed a 67% depreciation for the property, which would put it down at $64,970, which is $30,000 below the proposed evaluation and is closer and in line with the 2019 appraisal value of $66,910. The house is situated in the Shell Ridge area on Bay Vista. Bay Vista is a road, but it consists of only a road-based material. It is not paved. The house and garage have no paved surface driveways. The house is not connected to city sewage and requires a septic system. The house has no central heating, ventilation, or air conditioning. In warm weather, we rely on window air conditioners and fans to provide cooling and a portable electric space heater in cooler weather. The house does have an electric water heater and a simple efficiency electric stove, which is more than 30 years old. There is no sink-mounted garbage disposal, and there is no built-in dishwasher or other built-in appliances. The house is built on stilts. There is a single stair access to the living area. There is no ramp or elevator. It's not a handicap accessible structure. The roofs are basic asphalt shingles, which I assume, with this last storm, we're going to have some damage that I need to fix with those. There are no permanent hurricane shutters on either the house or garage. The house is a water view, but not a waterfront property. The back of the property is bounded by undeveloped marshland. The first examples of the comps that we provided are of comparable properties as the square footage, 2 bedrooms, single bath, as we have in the Bay Vista property. While these property comps were not in Shell Ridge, we did attempt to find properties in similar neighborhoods and market values of similar size and common physical characteristics. The last properties we put in our listing of comps, items C through G, are in the proposed appraisal range, and you'll see if we look at those that they're much larger in size, more rooms, and more bathrooms. The current valuation has been alluded to as $126,910, and as proposed, it goes to $157,940. The increase is for improvements only. There's no valuation on the land in this change, but that's still a total proposed change of 24%. The CAD provided comps consisted of 6 single-family houses located on Bay Vista or Paula's Reef, which is a nearby little street. But all these show market and in what I would call inconsistent increases for the proposed 2020 appraisal values. 2609 Bay Vista showed a 30% increase. 2606 Bay Vista showed a 58% increase.
Okay, Mr. Gillis?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, your 2 minutes and your 5 minutes, the total of 7, it's ended.
You'll get 4 more minutes in a moment to continue. Right now, it's the district's time to cross-examine. They have 2 minutes to cross-examine and then 2 minutes for rebuttal, and then you'll get an opportunity to speak again.
So my time was also accumulated when he was answering my questions.
I'll give you another minute. Go ahead.
All right, 2705 Bay Vista had a 35% increase, and then a 2621R Shell Ridge showed a 35% increase. Of the remaining 2 items, comps provided by the CAD, 2717 Bay Vista and 2805 Bay Vista. These were the 2 that had been sold in the last, 18 months. One showed a 100% increase in value based on the 2019 evaluation, and then that was the one that was sold for $302,000, which was $170,000 over 2019 market value. 2805 was sold for $325,000, and that was $124,000 over 2019 market value. These 2 were bought by the same LLC, which indicates an entity who was willing to purchase property for well over previously established market value. In our view, the net impact of these 2 sales has resulted in large perturbations in the market, which affect the nearby Bay Vista properties. And the last note is I found, looking at the water view properties on Bay Vista, they had on average a 2% increase 2019 versus 2020. And that's really, they're nearby properties, and I just don't understand how the appraisal methods and valuations, are they being universally applied?
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Time is up. Actually, that was give him another minute.
No, you still have to give him his
You
time.
have 4 minutes.
So the only thing in cross that I just wanted to point out something you said was the depreciation. You should know that the depreciation percentage is a percent good, not a percent depreciation. So when it says 67%, that means 67% remaining, not 67% was lost. The floor.
I got that. I understand how that works.
Okay, good. It just sounded like you were doing it the other way, but if not, that's where I'm thinking. Would you really think that this house is going to be sold for $160,000?
Do I? No.
I mean, that's kind of that's the job, right? Is to figure out what this thing's going to sell for in 2020 And I think it's worth more than even what we have on it.
Well, can you repeat what you just said? That was kind of garbled as it came through the system here.
I mean, that's the job, is to figure out how much things are worth when they sell in this year. And I think that if it sells this year, it sells for more than we have on it. I mean, what do you think about that?
I don't know. Based upon that, it's very hard to make those comparisons in that neighborhood because of the sales that have been made. They were so high over previous, valuations and way above what I would have thought would be normal market value.
I mean, if you look at what sells for $160,000, compare it to anything for $160,000, like there's nothing that sells for $160,000. So nothing. I've seen trailers that sell for $160,000.
Well, I would like to see that trailer, I guess.
I mean, it's to have a look around. There's literally nothing livable that I've seen since Harvey that sold for less than 115. Literally nothing livable. I mean, 500 square feet, doesn't matter. So I'm just saying, like, I understand the points you're making, but we're just lagging way behind on valuing Shell Ridge. Part of it has to do with the fact that it's not in the city. It ends up in a weird part of drive runs. There's not a lot of transactions. There's a lot of people who own long-term in there. But even with the adjustment to that area this year, I mean, we're still undervalued on Shell Ridge Drive. This thing's worth more than $160,000.
Well,
Kathy, where are we?
I disagree. But
How much do you think it's worth then? What do you think it actually is worth? What's your opinion of value for this property?
I would think right at 137 to 140,000.
Okay.
All right, are you through?
Yeah. I mean, there's no.
Okay, John, you have 2 minutes for protest or rebuttal.
This is not my closing, this is the rebuttal?
Yes, sir.
You'll have
I will keep my notes. I'll give that time. I will just provide closing comment. Would you like me to do that now or?
No, let's do it in order.
No, your time is up, so it's just district closing anyway.
District closes first.
It's okay.
He has nothing. You can take the 2 minutes.
I'll turn around.
Okay, so Mr. Gillis?
Yes.
Okay. The district doesn't have, I mean, they've said what they're, they've given their information, so now it's your turn to close.
Okay, I can do that. In my closing here, I'm just going to reference Texas ARB Manual 96308 and the Field Appraisers Manual 961710. Each property should be appraised based upon individual characteristics affecting the property's market value. All evidence that is specific to the value of the property shall be taken into account in determining the property's market value. A protest on the ground of unequal appraisal of property shall be determined in favor of the protesting party unless the appraisal district established the appraised value of the property is equal to or less than the median appraised value of a reasonable number of comparable properties appropriately adjusted. Assessors obviously need skills in both mass appraisal and single property appraisal. Skills in mass appraisal to produce initial values and a reappraisal, and in single property appraised values to defend assessed values. Both require market research using standard procedures, statistical testing, and good quality control. I go back to the 3 R's: relevance, reliability, and rightness. And I'm at a loss to explain what we've shown as what I think are unequal property appraisal methods and valuations in the Bay Vista Shell Ridge community. Thank you.
Thank you. The ARB has 5 minutes to deliberate and come up with a decision.
I think that there needs to be something for the no central heat and air. I mean, seriously,
Oh, because they don't have any air conditioning and other amenities? Is that what you're talking about?
correct. Don't you think? I mean, I wouldn't buy this house with no air conditioning. That's for darn sure.
What do you think? Well, I don't know that the other houses out there don't have air conditioning.
Well, we can look at,
Can we look at the cards and tell?
let's look at,
For the most part, they probably do.
Yeah.
I would venture to say that too.
I mean, I've driven out there, so.
So, I mean, I don't know how many are split units or central.
Now, Mr. Gillis,
Yes.
okay, so you said you don't have central air. So is it those new things that are I don't know what they're called, but they're
Split.
the split units, you know, like they used in Europe first? They're just window units. Okay. In the picture, they're just window units. So I've answered that question myself. I'm sorry.
Yeah. If you're looking at a picture from 1998, which was what I got in your paperwork, there are currently 3 window units in there.
Okay, thank you. If you look at this one property on the sales ratio report, and it's on Bay Vista, it says here 1-year-old heat and air conditioning with warranty. So, I mean, to me, putting in, if you had to put air conditioning into a building like that, I mean, I think it would be, a lot of money.
Yes, it would, because you'd have to do all the overhead vents.
Gillis, it's the appraisal review board's time to talk.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
How much, Ramona? 5,000?
I would say at least, I would say that because you would have to put duct work and everything like that in there.
I don't see any more than 5,000.
Right.
If you want to do 5,000, I'm okay with that.
Okay, and because I'm serving as chairman, I can't make the motion.
I'll make a motion on account 7967, taking into consideration increased market value and appraisal ratio exceeding median level. I think the district just proved that this property is below the market and equity value for that neighborhood. However, we're willing to take into consideration the fact that the property does not have air conditioning and reduce the price by $5,000, which would bring the price to $152,460.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so the motion passes. So, sir, you will receive, Mr. Gillis, at the appropriate address on file, they'll receive paperwork that restates the new value. And also it'll state what your course, other courses of action if you wish to pursue.
Okay.
Okay, and
Thank you, sir.
also, will you fill out a survey on your ARB experience, please?
Sure.
Okay, and then one other thing, what was the name of that book that you cited near the end about appraisal? It wasn't our book though. Oh, it was.
There were 2 books, or there were a number of manuals that I looked at from the Texas Comptroller. The first one was Texas ARB Manual 96308, and the second was a Field Appraisers Manual 961710.
Cool.
We have the first book.
John, are you based in San Antonio? Where are you at?
I live in Livernia.
Okay. Okay.
Cool. Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Well, thank you for your time.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Stillhouse is the next one, gonna be in person. I'm gonna go grab him right now.
Who is it?
It's account number, well, it's case number 868. It's
Okay, got it. Let me go get Lucy. I'll be right back.
It's on page,
Page 1.
it's the first one.
Page what?
Page
Oh,
1.
Page 1.
Yeah. Copy of the- Yeah. You know, I have a sneaking suspicion about Bear County. Bear County, because when we go to classes and things, never anybody from there. They get all the instruction emails, and that they're yeah, they get the instructors come to them instead of the other way around. And it's very cloistered, and they do things their own way. They're always in the news or something. And I think that it's kind of adversarial in how they deal with
In San Antonio?
And every now and then we'll get somebody who comes in with a property owner, and they're like prepared for like a court hearing.
Yeah.
And their defenses are up. They're like
Right.
ready to fight, or they're ready to be attacked, and they're very defensive. And every time that's happened, I'm like, man, this person's like twitchy. What's going on? They're from San Antonio. Every time. And I'm
Really?
thinking, it's gotta be because they had bad experiences at Bear County. You know, when I used to sell cars, there was people that would come in, and I'd spend the first 15 to 30 minutes. I only sold cars for like half a year, but just trying to get people to relax because they're so defensive and like they're guarded and stuff. And it's like, dude, I'm buying a new car, okay? It's not, I can't really rip you off on this thing. The price is what it is. But like, you can tell the ones that had bad experiences, you know? And that's what I was saying. Like, his thing says something else. I didn't know where he was, but I was like, I bet this guy's been in here. And sure enough, he's in where he was. So, yeah.
And Lavernia's outside of,
Yeah, but he's some kind of, he's a lawyer or something. That guy's a lawyer or something. He's a lawyer or engineer or, you know, something. They like in Bear County is the one that's like super formal, or like apparently if like
they don't allow
when they do
people to talk, and truly, they do teach us that. Like, it is the appraisal review board's hearing.
yeah.
And it's like, we should not, somebody from the appraisal district should never say, well, you should look at this, and it's like, don't say
Oh,
that.
well,
Yeah.
that I'm okay with, but like, if somebody says something and then I want to ask them a question, in Bear County, you have to direct it at the board.
Right.
And then direct to them.
Right.
Or maybe not. It's really odd. But I feel like that's counterproductive.
Stillhouse is here?
Don't hear from them until they get.
Hello, how
Good
are
morning.
you?
I'm well. How are you guys doing?
Good. Okay, so is everybody ready?
Mhm.
Okay,
Is Ramona back?
Ramona?
Yeah, I've been back.
Okay.
Don't take that one.
Okay. So we're going to open the hearing, and this is case ID 2020-868, account number 24799. This hearing, sir, I'm sorry. Now, are you George Hillhouse?
I am.
Okay, can I call you George? or-
Please.
Okay, all right. I'm Cindy Duck.
I said,
I'm on the appraisal review board. This is Kathy Hoffman. She's on the appraisal review board. Ramona LeBlanc is participating via Zoom. And Eamon is with the appraisal district.
okay,
Okay, so we are who will be hearing your protest today. We don't work for the appraisal district. We're appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. At the end of the hearing, you may complete a survey regarding your experience. The survey may be completed using the survey form and emailed to a specific email or online at Survey Monkey. The survey is voluntary. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 41.45H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. So anything that you plan on discussing or using as your evidence, have you given it to the appraisal district?
yes, it's the printed materials I have here, and I also sent part of this or some addenda to an appraisal, and I sent the main
You
appraisal.
should have two different.
Yes,
We
I
have-
show.
we have-
Okay, so cool. So we've got that. Okay, the ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest, and we are now signing an affidavit to that effect. I, Cindy Duck, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I've not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F, and I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
I, Elizabeth Garazi, notarizing Ramona's signature. I also am located in Texas. Whoever wants to go next.
All testimony has to be given under oath.
Okay, all testimony. What he said, no, I'm sorry.
Yes.
All testimony must be given under oath. So now he does it?
Yeah, he-
I'm going to say this.
Yes,
Okay,
and include your name.
I, George Hillhouse, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
I, Eamon Burke, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the Aransas County, the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Okay, now, and you don't hold a license or certificate from the Texas Appraiser Licensing and Certification Board, do you, sir?
I do not.
All right, so on your table there somewhere, right in front of you, see that sheet, and it has the times of the like so-and-so speaks, then this one.
Okay,
Do you want to go first, or do you want the district to go first? Your choice.
I'll go first,
Okay.
and hopefully it'll be much shorter than these timelines here.
Okay, and she's the timekeeper, so when
Okay.
she says, or when you hear the ding, you're done for
Okay,
that section.
Go ahead.
so this is really simple. I'm going through a divorce right now, so I've been given the rare opportunity to value every significant asset I have, including my house at 1886 Bayshore Drive. And so that house was appraised, and a couple of things happened between the initial appraisal this year and last month. The house next to me, just north of me, which is 1882 on the left, Bayshore Drive, that house has been on the market for a while. And I think they originally put it up there for about 1.3, it didn't sell. Then they lowered it through a series of reductions down to $995,000. That didn't sell at $995,000, and I'm not sure what the highest offer was, but because of that, they also pulled it off the market, and now they've entered into a 2-year lease. So that house did not sell for $995,000. And the reason I'm only pointing to this comp is because of the following. it's the only really good comp for my house. So my house at 1886 and the house at 1882, as you can see, we are actually 1.5 lots originally. We split the middle lot, so we're almost exactly the same waterfront footage and pretty close to the Bayshore Drive footage. So the lots are very, very similar, almost identical. The 1882 is a 4-bedroom, 5-bath house, and I think it's like 3,600 square feet. And then my house is a 3-bedroom, 3-bath house with 3,400 square feet. And so noting that it's a larger house with more bedrooms, more bathrooms, that it didn't sell at $995,000, then I think my house is appraised too high above that amount. The second thing is, I mentioned earlier, as part of my divorce, I had to have the house appraised. And the appraiser out of Houston, Texas, I couldn't use Lynch here because Mr. Lynch does not will not testify as an expert witness in Travis County, which is a requirement for me. So I used Harry Cool out of Houston. And based on that information regarding 1882, he amended his initial appraisal and gave the appraised value of $850,000. And the only other extra piece I'll mention is that 1882 has a pier, and mine does not have a pier. It was damaged in Hurricane Harvey, and fortunately I didn't build it before Hannah because I wouldn't have a pier again. But that's the only, really both properties, that's probably the best comp for my house.
Question, have they both been repaired to the same extent from the storm?
I think so. Both houses did get damaged in the storm. My house probably got damaged more just because the main bedroom, a gate from a fence flew up 6 feet, went through the hurricane shutters and into the bedroom, and so that area got trashed. And then I had to redo the flooring in the house. I replaced glass in the house just because I had seen what impact glass, how that performed in Hurricane Harvey, and these windows were very old. This house was built in 1982. So that was done. And then on their side, the Dooleys, they also repaired their house and updated it. And he told me it's like, this is the best shape it's ever been in.
Is that the one that has the roof that shells?
No, it's the one next door.
Yes, 1882 had all these oyster shells on it.
Yes, okay.
So on the side of my house,
No, and
all
I
our
know which one
neighbors,
his is.
they were all these
I
stuck
remember
shells
them.
from Harvey. Yeah,
Got
it used to be cool, but of course you couldn't put those.
Reshingled.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's
Okay.
exactly right.
Is there anything else you want to add? You have 41 seconds.
No, that's really it.
That's it? Okay. And the district now has 2 minutes to cross-examine and 5 minutes for their presentation, so 7 minutes.
I'm seeing in here, looking at the appraisal, where I don't see the 850 number. Where was it?
So the 850 number was, the original appraisal does not appraise the house at $850,000. It was the addenda that should be, I guess, under CAD evidence, I'm assuming. It is,
It's under the taxpayer evidence.
Is it the shorter?
Is it the longer one, Ramona, or
It's 6 MB, whatever that means.
oh, okay, it's the first one that says taxpayer.
Yes, yeah, I was looking at it.
and the cover letter on it is dated May 30th, 2020. And then he kind of defines it further between land value and improvement value, and cover letter June
Looks
10th.
like it says 810,000.
Well, it says in the first paragraph, it says, I revised the market value of this property to $850,000.
You see that, Damon?
Yes.
That this letter is not clear, it wasn't clear to me. but according to my attorneys, he said he broke it down to the improved value of 660 for land and the remainder for improvement.
I'm just not seeing where that number is derived from. Like what, like what is it? How did he get the 8? I'm just looking for it. Where is the 810 coming from?
It would be in the May 30th.
Right, but like the other one has like comps and like did some market research and is explaining like the contributory value of the retaining wall and stuff. But
Oh, wait a minute, look on page 2, because it says it has now come to my attention, so maybe that explains.
Yes, ma'am.
Shall likely, no, okay, keep going. Okay.
I'm not finding the comparisons either.
Mm-mm.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, wait, go back, that page, discovery of, okay,
That's just
no, but
explaining
that just says,
the
yeah.
detail of everything.
Alright, is there a page after that?
Oh, I see where it is. You keep on going. He's used the ACAD information.
Oh, here.
If you go down to page 25, page
okay.
25.
I think I finally found it. It's on so it's the
That's actually my information. That's not part of the Cooley report or the addendum. That's just stuff
That wasn't part of his report.
Now, what about that right there?
that's all just printed out from your site, and I added that. I was using it as a personal reference.
well, it says page 1 of 16. It's got a Cooley letterhead. I think yeah.
Okay.
It says page 2 of 16. It says it talks about the comp next door. He's talking about the listing that didn't sell. And then on page 5 of 16 in there, there's an adjustment for coronavirus.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
Okay.
The only thing I would say about that is that our value is it's a January 1 value. Our date of appraisal is January 1st. And the appraisal given September of 19 is, I don't have any problems with it at all. And it says 1.14, whatever it said. And anything that happens later will affect 2021 value, but the January 1 of 2020.
Oh, wait, oh, I'm sorry.
What did the September appraisal?
What is that number?
I'm lost with all this.
Well, wait, if you
There's a lot of
go,
numbers in there.
what's behind that?
That's our
Jackie?
value.
Okay, look, right there, it says
It says,
originally the land value was pegged at 810.
it says in summation, my opinion is that the fee simple market value of the property as of August 25th, 2017 was 1.1. And it's the fee simple market value of the property as of September 5th, 2019, as is $1,140,000.
140.
One million one.
1,140,000.
That
That sounds
is your
accurate. That's what?
that backs up your number.
What's lower than our number, is it?
No, 114. It's higher
It's higher.
by 20, by 36,000.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Well, I thought it was like 100,000 something below ours, but I just misread our number. I thought our number was something else. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and submit my evidence so that it's in the record.
2.5 minutes.
Okay. The property.
I'll give you an extra minute.
That's okay.
Enough time to figure this out.
It's 24799. It is single family home on Bayshore. It is notice this year for 1,124,250. We use for sales in Key Allegro from this sold 34 Flamingo, 7 Flamingo, 12 luau were used as comps. The median value is 1,292,103. They're class 6 homes, which are very similar. I think there's a 7 minus in there, which would be 6 plus and 7 minus are barely different. The equity grid shows other homes that are 6FBs, 6SS plus, a 5SS, and a 6SS minus in Key Allegro. The median indicated equity value is 1,114,000. So there's like a tiny downward adjustment there within the margin of error. And the sales ratio report is for Key Allegro. We are at 93% of sales in Key Allegro. There's a lot of
You're at what, 90?
93% in Key Allegro. Yeah. You know, the difference between our appraisal and the Cooley appraisal is like $100,000, and $100,000 either way on 1.1 million is well within reason for an appraisal. But getting to 810 or 850, that, you know, a lot of that would be from stuff that happened after January 20. So I also would just want to say that it is kind of odd that that house didn't sell. The listing for it is weird. The language is like desperate. I don't understand. I don't know. It seems like a normal house.
The one next door?
Right.
I thought it did sell.
No, it did. Well, it's off the market.
It didn't?
No, the reason it is off the market is because they couldn't sell it, and so they entered into a 2-year lease.
But that's what I'm saying. What's the seems like a normal house.
Could I answer that?
Yeah.
I
Feel free to speculate.
Well, it is something, you know, and this weekend kind of manifested what's going on. You know, the owners of Bayshore Drive, we kind of have to use our own private money to protect the shoreline of Bayshore Drive because we're protecting our houses. But what also is happening, we're protecting Bayshore Drive by protecting our houses. And so every time we get a storm, we have to spend our own money without any help from the city to do that. And so what I think is happening, and I don't disagree with the methodology, but there seems to be like 3 different categories of homes in Key Allegro. So the original phase 1 and phase 2, kind of the northern part of Key Allegro, those have lower, I would say, square footage values. And then you go farther south on mine, like that curly comp, and the houses down there, they seem to go for a much higher value. And they have bigger, typically much larger houses, bigger lots, and the canals tend to be bigger as well. And then there's that third category to me, which is Bayshore Drive, which is kind of a crapshoot for a couple of reasons. One is we're right on the bay. And we know, you know, when you have a house on the bay, and we've owned these lots in my family since 1968, you're also taking on almost an annual liability. And for me, I think it's going to be about $10,000 every year, you know, which I'm doing right now because I to, you know, fix repairs from not just storms like Hannah, but also we get a fairly significant damage just from cold fronts pushing waves from the north towards the south.
Right.
And so I think my guess is people are starting to realize that. And so, and also in Key Allegro in general, that you're going to have damage on Bayshore Drive. You're not going to get help. And from either the homeowners association, although, you know, the canals, they are going to get some funding from homeowners association and the other municipal entities and state and federal entities, but we don't really get that in Bayshore. And so that's why I think people looking at Bayshore Drive are looking at, it's a great view, wonderful view, but it's also this liability every year that you're going to have to deal with.
And I think buyers are becoming, never mind.
No, I agree.
I'm gonna keep my mouth
After
shut.
Harvey and everything about global warming and climate change and you know, rising sea levels, I think and there's also the issue of, I know a person just south of Casbury home, they were planning to build on that, and they spent $40,000 on architectural designs, and then they found out there was a problem, I guess, under it, didn't exactly delineate where the zone was, and so that is on indefinite hold, may never get built on. And so as that kind of information trickles down to people looking at those lots that are now opened up because of Harvey, it becomes problematic. Well, what do you do with those lots?
Right.
So Bayshore Drive, I think that's the reason. It's almost like this third category, and we didn't have a ton of comp sales before Harvey, and now we have some, but now it's just kind of like, well, can I build on it without, the Corps or somebody else coming back, or FEMA not giving me flood insurance, or TWIA, TWIA?
Right. Yeah, and just to let you know, our Key Allegro is divided into 5 units. There's unit 1 to 5. In our model for Key Allegro is like very granular because there's so much. Well, to be frank, it's because so many people in Key Allegro protest that it ends up getting combed over so much that it ends up getting very fine to where there's like, this side of the street versus that side of the street. It'd probably be better if we zoomed out a little bit on Key Allegro actually, but people are typically trying to point out the differences of their individual. Well, this is my side of the canal worse than that side of the canal. So it's not, we don't have 3 sections like that, but Bayshore is kind of in its own thing. The Bayshore, just because you're in unit 1, but you're on Bayshore, it's not like being in unit 1 over on their little narrow canal or whatever.
Can I ask you a question?
That was kind of both of your
You
time,
said-
sir. Do you have anything else you need to add?
I'm sorry?
I'll give you another, we kind of went back and forth there. Do you have anything else you want to add?
She'll give you another minute.
Thank
So
you.
he was getting ready to ask a question.
What was the date of your appraisal?
Our date of appraisal every year is January 1st.
January 1st, 2020?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's,
Where are you at, Kathy?
there's,
What's
just to be sure, nothing has changed in the appraisal. He just basically corrected his appraisal because he saw it was wrong relative to market value, just because the house, which is by far the best comp for us, right next door, the dog didn't eat the dog food at that price. And that was the most significant comp in his appraisal. And this is also a guy, he's doing out of Houston doing the best he can. But, the Key Allegro, there are a lot of houses that are listed for numbers that they'll never sell at, and this house was one of them originally.
Sure.
But even down, I think they're making $75,000 high, but on a net $995 for that to sell. But I think the biggest issue is Bayshore Drive. You're taking on a pretty large contingent liability when you buy one of those homes, of the amount of work you may have to do every time we get a storm.
Okay, thank you. Your time is up. District, you have 1 minute for closing.
I'm okay. I don't have anything that comes to mind for closing. I'm just reading this thing. That's okay.
Okay, do you have 1 minute for closing?
I'm done. Thank you.
Okay, the district now has 5 minutes to discuss.
Okay, this is what I think. Okay, the comp equity grid says that it should be valued at $1,114,069. And he has to have repairs on has to redo his wall for $150,000. So that would bring the total value down to $964.69, leaving the land at the $658,360 and the structure at $3,570,700. What do y'all think?
Say that one more time, Ramona. Sorry.
From the very beginning?
Yeah, please.
Okay, from the comp equity grid says that his house should be valued at $1,114,069. To get his wall done, it's $150,000. So if you subtract that from there, it brings a total package of $964,060. I kind of feel that's kind of close to his valuation report. What do you think?
His last evaluation was at 850.
Huh?
Last appraisal was at 850.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's not the 1 million that the district has or what he said on the first appraisal. And
the 150 you're taking off is for what?
for the retainer wall,
For the retainer wall, all right.
And you talked about the concrete in that sequel.
And so I don't want to lead you guys astray.
Short, long, what, give your answer, yes,
I'm
that,
sorry, what?
quickly.
What was the
It's
question?
not your turn to talk, but just, did you talk about that concrete on your seawall or not?
Yes.
It is in the appraisal.
Okay, all right, so, and are you good with him making the comment or something?
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
This whole issue of the $150,000 that I did spend on this retaining wall, for some reason it's getting like, oh, we'll add this to the land value. I don't agree with that with my own appraiser, just because that was to keep the land value, just as as some place that you could keep a house on. If I did,
but we can take it off the land value, Cindy.
Yes,
I mean, we can take it off the land value and leave the structure, put that value onto the structure.
So the number that the appraisal review board applies is a single market value number. It's not subdivided into improvement or land. Like, it doesn't matter which pocket it's coming out of. The only thing that matters is the total.
Which I make a motion that we value or set the 2020 value at $964,060, taking into account the incorrect appraised value, the appraisal ratio exceeds the median level,
The property description, is that incorrect?
The property description?
Yeah.
Well,
okay, wait, he has a comment.
I'm listening.
Okay, Ramona,
Yes,
go
yes,
ahead.
it is.
there is, I know for 882, they have it listed as one lot. And I think in mine, in the appraisal district, it's listed as 2 lots. I need your help. How do I get it listed just as 1 lot? Because it's really just 1 lot.
Is it,
Let's talk to them.
is drawn
Is
as
that
one
Val?
lot?
That's this office?
Well, I'm worried that may be driving part of my land value to making it higher if it's deemed 2 lots, and that,
It's not.
if I had a hurricane, I could sell them off in 2 lots, and I can't.
All right, then, Ramona, you can put that in your motion, I believe, that could get adjusted by the district, is that correct?
That's something.
Well, we can look into it, but it's not discretionary. It's up to us what's on the deed. So it says the site is addressed. It says EOA Road Unit Number 2, Block 1, lot south part of 44 and all of 45. So there's some south part could be a foot. It could be half the lot. I have no idea.
But that's just in the description. It's not, you don't get 2 different,
It's not going to be 2 whole lots.
like the homeowners, you don't get 2 different assessments. You only get 1, right?
They,
But we can check to make sure that.
it has been an issue with the homeowners association, just because it's going back and forth, and they said, well, we'll bring it up with the appraisal district. I only get 1 bill, but they brought that up on 2 lots. It's like, it's just 1 lot. It's actually 1.5 lots. It's the same lot as 1882. And so I would love to get that fixed, because in 1882, it's just listed straight up 1 lot.
So Val in this office is who you need to talk to, but we can't. That's your responsibility to take to her. We can't do anything about
Well, I
that.
just brought it up because it was.
Yes.
addressed on-
No, and I think you should say he understands that it's his responsibility to talk to Val up front.
Okay, I
Okay, are we good?
exactly the positive way to get it. And,
When you leave here to walk, she'll walk you up there.
okay, thank you.
Okay, you can continue, Val, Ramona.
You sure?
Ramona,
I said,
What? I think it also addresses the property description as incorrect, that the homeowner will go and speak to the district to clarify or to correct the description of the property. Okay.
Motion,
I made it a motion to start with, and y'all kept going.
I'll second it. I second the motion.
All in favor? Aye. Kathy?
I said I.
Okay, so the motion passed. This hearing is closed.
You understand what the value is now?
960?
64,060.
964,060.
Okay,
You'll get a letter in the mail
okay.
that, but here's the other thing, it is your responsibility to make sure the address that is in their file is the correct address for you to get stuff in the mail. Okay, so while you're here, that's something I'm just suggesting you double check.
I'm looking at it right now. Your deed, and it says being the description of 0.592 acres of land embracing the southerly portion of lot 44 and all of lot 45, block 1, Key Alegro Island Estates, Unit 2, City of Rockport, Aransas County, Texas, according to the plat, blah, blah, blah. And your neighbor's is the same. And his is also described as the north 50 feet of lot 44 and all of 43. So you do own 1.5 lots.
Right.
Yeah. And the other one is also 1.5 lots. We can't change that. You'd have to have it. I don't even know replatting it would change that, because it's like it doesn't mean anything. A lot is not could be anything.
But in that, I think it legally combined them to one property. Like on ours, we have ours literally 15 and 17. They are literally legally two separate entities. Okay, so I pay 2 of the fees.
Right.
Okay, and 2 times that.
It's one parcel.
Okay,
No.
Yeah, no, he's got one parcel, but
So yours is just one parcel.
that has to
That's
do
the
with,
legal description that'll never go away.
No, Ralph Thornhill's a friend of mine, and actually used him as an attorney. And he came to me and I was talking to him about this. And it's just, and I think it's just the way the HOA, or maybe before they kind of outsourced it to Spectrum,
Give grief
they
to
were looking at
somebody.
this, and so it's just, I don't even think really to about it. I would just like it recorded so it stops confusing HOA people.
we can't.
It'd be the
We
deed.
can't-
No, not in the deed, I mean, just in the appraisal district.
No,
You
it's like
can't.
it's illegal for us.
We
to
pull
have
from
it
records,
not
yeah.
match the deed.
Because it's a legal description.
We're an office of records, so when it.
All right,
Yeah, it's not up to us.
So you're done with us,
okay, thank you, guys.
and you'll get something in the mail, and I would double check my address, and I think that's it.
Thank you.
Oh, and there's a survey you can. fill
If
out.
you would take a survey, that helps us to get feedback.
Okay.
About
Where do I
It
take
comes
the
in your
survey?
order.
Is it emailed to me?
I think they have one up front.
That we mail to you, or we have them here.
Okay, great. Thank you, guys.
Yep, thank you.
thank you.
I
Okay.
apologize for
Wait,
my
oh, you did?
informality.
Okay.
I dropped everything Saturday to run down here,
No, it's-
and one of the things I forgot was long pants.
Yeah, you're in Rockport.
Yeah.
Oh my God, look, he doesn't have on long pants. Oh my God.
You're raised back up?
Next thing you know,
We're gonna change it now. She said we have an issue. Not anything we've done, but there's an
Can't you have
issue.
your
with-
2 lots be platted into one?
We should, but the problem is they're owned differently. So we have to fix, it's not that simple. So we have to, people are gonna have to buy and sell and do all this junk, and we'll do it if we decide to stay. I don't know that we can afford to anymore.
More confusing to replat lots like this, because then it would go lot 43, lot 45.
But that's the
lot
legal
46, people go,
description.
"Where lot
It's
44?"
expensive to do it. We're trying to assess we live on the corner of St. Andrews Places. We maintain homeowner property, but they're willing to give it to us.
Oh, yeah,
Because we
mine's
haven't
good.
maintained it. We had that whole big corner to maintain. But it's like $600 to get it replatted.
Is it the surveyor or the?
I don't know. That's what.
Did I do something?
No, with our 10 o'clock.
It's like, oh, no, no, what?
So I got a phone call from Mr. Conklin on the 10 o'clock docket.
Okay.
He said,
He's the only thing on the 10 o'clock. He has like 5 or 6 accounts.
yeah, he's the whole thing.
No,
He said he cannot honestly sign our questionnaire to get in the door.
Oh, okay.
He
He
wants
what?
to know if he should reschedule. He can't sign the health questionnaire.
oh,
Well, he can't reschedule. He asked about that, but it would have to be a letter.
You would just have him write a letter
He's
saying
had some coronavirus.
something, yeah, something happened.
Why
Send him a
can't he do
contact.
it? So will he do a Zoom?
Well, that was what I wanted to ask
That means
is,
one of us has to go out there.
Did you hear that, Kathy?
so,
The guy who's on the 10 o'clock docket has answered yes to some of the coronavirus questions.
He said he can't
well,
sign
he
it.
called in and said, you know, we've sent it out in the packet. He saw the questions. He said if he comes in, he can't.
He can't sign it.
Really sign it, yeah.
He can't sign it, honestly.
Well, the
So-
thing that says, have you contacted anyone with
Oh,
coronavirus?
In
that-
other words, he
okay,
can't come
okay.
in the door.
Right.
So my thought was that he was supposed to come in person. If we could ask him to come on and I would put an affidavit out for him to sign because he needs his affidavits.
Stick it outside. He could sign it, tape it to the door, whatever, and
And we could proceed. Is that what you would like us to try to do?
if we can get rid of it.
Yeah,
What do you
yeah.
think, Ramona?
Well, y'all made the decision. Go ahead.
No, we
No.
didn't make the decision. I said, my opinion is if we can, girl,
I just said it's okay with me.
it's okay with me, but I mean, if it isn't okay with you, tell us and we'll deal
I
with.
don't care.
What do you want to do?
I don't care, y'all. Let's do it.
We're
Okay.
gonna call
He
him.
said he's on his way either way. So I give him a call and let him know what we're gonna do.
Oh, he had.
He said he's gonna head this way either way.
So what time would he be doing this thing?
He's at 10.
Be at 10.
Yeah.
He has 6, he is the 10
So-
o'clock docket.
So where is he gonna Zoom it from?
He would have to go back home. So you'd have to allow him the time. You know
And
what I
where,
mean?
let's
Or he
see,
could phone, oh yeah, he doesn't have air conditioning.
you know what, in a
Right.
phone that wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
No, yeah, and he already said he didn't want to stay in his car because he had.
Yeah, it's hot.
Water Street, oh, so he isn't that far away.
No, yeah, that's probably why he didn't mind
Okay.
driving over here.
So
I
Ramona,
appreciate him not bringing in.
No,
yeah,
yeah,
I don't,
I
he is,
appreciate
I
the
don't
honesty.
want, I
Sure.
appreciate him being honest, because he could have said nothing and come in and so.
Yeah, and then he would have been here the whole 6 accounts.
So Ramona, it'll be a few minutes.
We
Yeah,
have
y'all
anything
can
else
take a
at
break if you want to, but
we have anything else at 8:30?
we've had one more, but they didn't call or come in.
What about it? Do we have anybody else that's called in for 10?
He's the only 10. He's got
He's
6 accounts. He is the 10 o'clock docket.
That's it?
Yeah.
Are there any
Like I said,
affidavits or anything on the 1:30
Let me double check.
or the 3?
Let me double check.
No, I don't know what to say.
starts at 1703.
What?
1703, page 2. He starts there.
17 Oh, it's a 10 o'clock.
Mhm.
17.
He's the only person on the 10 o'clock docket.
Really? There's 3 more on there. Listed.
Where's it at? 130. On page 4 starts the 130 docket.
Right underneath 1703, there was Gary Thompson at 10 o'clock and
Gary Thompson. They're all Thompson. Deanne and Gary.
What happened with the 3 o'clock people?
They're all.
I'm
him.
sorry, what, Ramona?
What happened to all the 3 o'clock people? There's only a 10:30 and a 8:30 and a 10 o'clock docket.
No, there's a 3 o'clock.
is there
I mean,
one-
on this little Kindle thing, there's not.
Oh,
is there a 1 o'clock docket?
Yeah.
1:30 rather?
Yep, it starts page 4.
1:30 and.
but what she's saying is they're not on our Kindle.
But I have a question for Val. I don't know when yours. Let's see. Yeah, mine's not showing the afternoon yet either.
We do have one.
Affidavit.
We haven't pulled back our afternoon over yet.
Pull it over yet.
Okay.
1703, is it on? Oh,
Okay, I'm gonna go take.
They
All right,
do.
Ramona, there is one that we can do.
It's 959, pull over the evidence. 959 for Fulton. 959 is on the 130 docket,
okay.
and it's affidavit only.
Oh, okay.
I don't. I guess I don't need it. It's not
They don't
on
have it in the
Kindle.
Kindle, yeah, I remember.
Oh, we don't have it.
Yeah. Pull over real quick.
On page 4, the second one.
Page 4.
Don't have anything on it. Hello?
Are y'all waiting on me?
Okay, so we can do this one, Philip Fulton, sent by affidavit.
Do we have information on it?
Now there's a
Yeah.
130.
This is 959. The 130.
Must be. Yeah, it's the first one. So you go to 130. Ramona, it's on the 130 docket. Is she there?
Wait, so are we doing this one now? Is that what she's saying? We're gonna do this to pass the time?
Yes,
Okay.
I think.
Are you there, Ramona?
She took a call. So maybe you did.
Just a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally appreciate that. It should be pulled over.
So you gave us this to.
And it should be in the account, right?
Yeah, it is.
You gave us this to pass before we-
Yes, yeah, she has to go to the affidavit only.
We're like sisters. I'm sorry.
It
Sorry,
should
I
be
took
through the
care of a little business.
Okay, it's Ramona, it's
I
now
know
it's
it's not 1:30. I'm ready.
okay. I even remember, it's been a while since I've done all this, so I have to get used to. Okay, this is a affidavit, David here. Okay, so we are opening hearing number. Which one is it?
2029.
2020-595.
Oh, here it's on the sheet. Okay.
25.
Oh, 20, this is case number 2020-959.
Right.
And we're opening the hearing. This hearing is being recorded. We are the Appraisal Review Board that will be hearing the protest today. I'm Cindy Duck, Kathy Hoffman, and Ramona LeBlanc via Zoom. We do not work for the appraisal district. We're appointed to perform an independent review of the protest. Protester has the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to the protester with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 41.45H, all written material is assumed to have been provided with the affidavit. The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. I, Cindy Duck, do solemnly swear I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66.
I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F, and I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
I, Elizabeth Piccarazzi, notarizing Ramona's signature. I also am located in Texas.
I, Ingrid always swear affirm that the testimony shall present to the Appraisal Review Board to the Aransas County. Right?
I'm
Yeah, well, the property owner's affidavit is going to represent them. But I'm going to present our evidence first for clarity so that I can explain what the property is, or else very confusing. So this is 61410. It says the subject is 35% complete, and prompts have been adjusted to reflect the fact that it is incompleteness. 2019 it was 76,000. This year it was noticed at 141,350. Let me. What was the reason for that? I'm not sure what exactly caused the change year over year.
Hold up. Hold on.
What is it?
Oh, look, I don't know.
Is it the land or? It's probably the land.
No, the land is fine.
The land's the same as last year.
No, land.
It was,
No, it's not.
hold on.
They both rose 32, 33,000.
What was the land in 19?
The land went up. Land was 56, now it's 88. The improvement was 20.
And now it's 48.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, now it's 53.
But it was a settlement in 19. It was a settlement statement in 19.
Yeah, sure. The and okay. I'll explain what this property is real quick. Let's look at the picture. And Ramona, are you looking at the picture as well?
Well, what I have on my screen, I can see.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not going to show anything different. The this is at the turn of Weeping Willow in the back end, way back end of Peninsula Oaks.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of houses around here. Some are really nice, some are really old. This house is weird. It's a this guy bought this land and then he bought a home that was like, it was a kit home where you build a metal building and they sell parts, and it's like a modular thing, and you want to add your room, make it a little different, longer living room. It's like a Lego house or something. But it's made out of like red iron. It's in some ways it's super overbuilt. The problem is it never got done, ever. So by the time this guy had a bunch of like barriers getting done personally. There's nothing wrong with the building, he just didn't get it done. And then the company that made this proprietary
Oh
building
my God.
went out of business. And
Oh no.
yeah, a lot of things have happened to keep this
Does
happening.
he live in it?
He does not. Nobody lives in it.
Nobody
It's not a
lives in it.
habitable structure. He does live here, but it's because he has a travel trailer that he parked right there. And that's where he's lived
God.
for whatever, 15 years or something. Like he's been there.
I was going to ask how long this has been going on.
Yeah, I think he bought it at this little house project thing in like 03, and their company went out of business in like 08. And dude, he's gonna present evidence for all this, so I can tell you the dude had he like had cancer, and then he had heart failure, and then he got divorced, and like it was just like Job, really. So, but anyways, the real property is this piece of land with this building on it that is essentially very high quality metal foundation and framing, which is what you would be great if you were going to build a mechanic shop or something. But it's not a built out house. It's not habitable. And anyways, that's what it is. So just so you know what's going on, this isn't a normal house. So the comps for it, given on the sales grid, are from the area and their homes. That being said, they've been adjusted to match percent completeness, assuming that when this is done, that it would be a house that nowadays we would call a barn dominium. But it isn't done. It presumably will never be done. It takes some specialized knowledge to figure out how to finish this house with proprietary fasteners and stuff. And it's really well made, but it's not just a strange project. The equity grid shows that other houses in this neighborhood, and it indicates a value of 174. Our market value is 141. And the sales ratio report for this area shows that we're at 98%. And I'll just tell you, I was the one who settled this last year, and I did tell him that he should sell it. So, but this isn't. He's never going to get done.
Did you offer a settlement amount this year?
This year, I didn't work this year, so I have no idea what was done beforehand. But
There's 4 phone calls made and no return.
oh, okay. We couldn't contact.
It's probably in the hospital with something and couldn't.
Who knows?
So you settled it last year for 76,000?
Yeah, just on the basis of saying it's probably just worth whatever the land is worth. If any building might be, somebody might find it useful and go, I'll build a house and use that for a garage. They might find some dude who wants to make a barn dominium. You may find some dude who wants to put a business in it. You may find somebody who wants to just take it out of there, just haul it off and say, well, I want this lot. So, I settled with him for just the land.
Are you good with that, Amy?
Are you good with that?
Well, land value went up from 56 to 80.
But that would be due to sales in the area.
Peninsula Oaks
That's the land value.
Yeah.
Their land is appreciated. So, yeah.
He said yes.
But I do have to read his evidence.
He has to present his evidence before we make a motion, Ramona.
Yeah, I was reading it.
There's a good bit of it. All right. Property owner's affidavit of evidence is for 61410 in Aransas County. It's Philip A. Fulton, 901 Weeping Willow, Rockport, Texas, 78382. 361-230-4159 is the phone number. Email philipafulton@gmail.com. Property description is listed as above. So he's describing it with the mailing address. The reasons for protest check are incorrect appraised market value, values unequal compared to other properties. Property description is incorrect, and an exemption was denied, modified, or canceled previously. And protest form check was incorrect appraised market value, values unequal compared to other properties. Other, which is described as 85% increase. Incorrect appraised market value under a special appraisal for ag use, open space, or special appraisal. Temporary disaster damage exemption was denied or modified. The property description is incorrect. An incorrect damage assessment rating for a property qualified for a temporary disaster exemption. The evidence included is 10 pages, 33 photos, hard copy, and a finger drive.
I don't have a finger drive.
Everyone else has thumb drives, but this guy has a finger drive. So, it says refer to submitted documents. Hearing type, it's selected as I do not intend to appear at the hearing either in person or by telephone conference call. This affidavit, the evidence, and or argument submitted with it may be used for the hearing if I do not appear in person at the hearing. Section 7 says County of Aransas signed by Philip A. Fulton, notarized by Armando Martin. Here in Aransas County. Yeah. All right, then he includes our hearing procedure times in his letter. Letter is addressed to the appraisal review board. Okay, this is a new letter, right? You'll have it written before, right? July 19th. Okay, just make sure. Dear members of the board, I'm forced to present my protest case to you in absentia. I have had several instances of recurring fever over the last 6 weeks, along with other symptoms of the coronavirus. I have not been able to get tested here in Aransas County, and from what I read, the testing is inaccurate. I consider it wise to avoid risk to others. I will try to be as brief as possible. The property in question is 901 Weeping Willow. The structures consist of a Quonset and what amounts to a storage room. The structures are used for storage of machinery and assorted equipment. I live in a very dilapidated travel trailer because neither of the structures can be lived in. Please refer to the photos. The only freshwater supply is a temporary hookup to a washing machine and a hose running to the RV trailer. There is no kitchen. Wastewater pipes have not been laid to the septic system. There are no fixtures, commodes, or bathing facilities in either building. I do keep a porta potty for when septic has problems. There is no electrical system in the Quonset. The larger building has been wired, but only 2 circuits are operational. Tried to get another to work after the Hurricane Harvey, but a breaker trips. The larger building is framed with red iron. Even though it started as a steel framed building, I thought I could make it into a house. I got as far as drying it in and hanging sheetrock. There are no lighting fixtures in either structure. There's no heating or air conditioning in either structure. The floors are bare concrete. There are no cabinets. There are no interior doors or framing from which to hang doors. The south-facing double door on the larger building was blown out by Hurricane Harvey, which allowed the storm to thoroughly soak the interior. The new doors are not fully installed and are not functional. The steel roof lost panels and other pieces and allows water to enter, particularly the west wall, when there is rain. The roof always leaked due to a design flaw where the north pitch overshoots the central load-bearing structural wall. A detail drawing of the roof structure, which makes most of that pitch a shed roof. As a result, the soffit slopes in the wrong direction back towards the wall. Rain blowing from the south drains backwards from the soffitting into the central load-bearing wall. The rainwater works its way down the interior of the central wall, wetting the framing. Puddles then form at the base of the wall inside the building. See DSCF 0394G. Red iron structure is corroding as a result. There is a moldy odor, particularly after rain penetration. The structural design flaw is one of the major reasons I halted construction about 2008. The final cause of failure will be detailed below. The structure is a prefab. I looked into suing the vendor because he was out of business. It appears that part of the structure would have been to be redesigned and the roof disassembled and rebuilt to fix this issue. I don't have the money. I'm living on Social Security. The Quonset allows water to penetrate at the base of the arches on both sides of the building. I managed to get galvanized steel skirt installed that was supposed to keep the water from entering under the walls. Penetration by the water was reduced but not eliminated. I suspect the overlapping arches may have been racked out of shape by Harvey and no longer sealed. At any rate, the repeated wetness has caused severe corrosion along both walls at the base where the building is attached to the slab. At some point, the Quonset will likely collapse from the loss of support or be torn loose by the wind. Photo DSCF 0439.jpg shows one of 76 anchors set in the Quonset's concrete slab securing the sides of the structure. If you look carefully, you can make out in the center of the triangular rusted area the remains of the 1/2 inch diameter steel anchor. The nut and washer are already completely gone. A reasonable question would be why buildings begun 15 years ago never got beyond being dried in. I've already mentioned the design flaw on the roof. In early 2009, I was diagnosed with colon cancer. Please see disability letter 1 and 2. The surgeon resected my colon and harvested some lymph nodes, and I was put on chemotherapy. A couple of bad lymph nodes did not match the histology of the tumor in my colon. After an extensive diagnostic workup, another tumor was found in my stomach. I got more chemo plus radiation. Late 2009, another surgeon resected my stomach, lower esophagus, top part of my liver, and more lymph nodes. I lost a year, 45 pounds, and I was broke. But I slowly recovered. 2.5 years later, I was diagnosed with T-cell lymphocytic leukemia, and that my second oncologist blamed on the chemo and radiation. I was told there was no cure. See physician's disability letter. The infusions of packed red blood cells became more frequent. I had to take a medical treatment. Please see Social Security Notice of Award of Disability and Certificate of Retirement. 4 years later, my estranged wife was making my final arrangements when the oncologist called with news of an experimental chemo that had not even progressed to clinical trials. It put me in remission for 2 years. I then relapsed and went through chemo again. I almost lost my left leg to a bad reaction, but I'm still here. It's still broke. More recently, damage to my heart from the cancer treatments and years of leukemia increased my cardiac arrhythmia. My cardiologist implanted a combination defibrillator pacemaker because of the numerous cardioversions that I have needed. Please see the implant card. I'm not looking for sympathy. I have been very lucky considering the alternative. I am instead offering my sincere apology for the horribly degraded and incomplete condition of my property. The trees and all the other stuff from Harvey are still laying where they fell. I don't have the strength or money to do much. I've got nowhere to go, nowhere else to live. I would have long ago homesteaded this place and claimed the freeze on my taxes for my 100% disability. And I'm a veteran and 70 years old. When I inquired some years ago if I could claim the exemptions I'm entitled to, the Aransas CAD ARB District informed me that I cannot claim the various exemptions because the buildings are not livable structures, even though I've been living here for 12 years except for medical treatments. They've turned around and taxed the property as residential. It seems very contradictory. How can they have it both ways? It's a residence for purposes of taxation. Why not for the provisions of the law that benefit me? Shouldn't the legal doctrine of estoppel apply? All these properties in the list of comparisons supplied by the Aransas County Appraisal District are residential properties. They're finished structures. They're all being lived in. They look to be in much better condition than my property, but the county denies that my structures are residential for the purposes of exemptions and freezes, though they tax me for residential improvements. I will also point out that the photo they provided of my property was taken no later than about 2008. My wife, owner of the white Pontiac in the picture, no longer lived here after 2008. Why did the Aransas County Appraisal District use such an outdated photo? Don't they have recent photos that more accurately show the true condition of the property? In closing, I ask one favor. If you think the fair market value is what Aransas County claims, I need to sell this property, and I will let it go at a much lower price. If Aransas County is correct, this is an opportunity for someone with money. Please spread the word. In the interest of full disclosure, removal of the derelict improvements will be surprisingly expensive from what I've been told. The land would be worth much more without the structures. I submit to you that the valuation of the land should be reduced by the cost of removing the unusable structure. They are certainly not improvements. Thank you for your time and understanding. Signed it, enclosures, supporting and explanatory documents, hard copies, and on the finger drive. Current photos of my property only on the finger drive. Current photo of the adjacent comparable property only on the finger drive. My pertinent medical history and disability, hard copies and on finger drives. Social Security Administration finding of disability, hard copy and on the finger drive. Evidence of veteran status and total of 30 years honorable service in the U.S. Army, hard copies and on the finger drive. Next page is a schematic from the building showing the roof purlins and how they're laid together, and a crank wall, a cancer letter from a letter of disability from the Cancer Care Centers of South Texas. This is a font change. It's 2 pages actually. Then a Social Security award letter. This isn't an award letter. This is a
Payment distribution.
payment distribution letter. The Department of the Army Certificate of Retirement issued to Philip Fulton. His medical ID.
Important record.
What is D214? Oh, he's highlighting that he was discharged honorably. Okay, and yeah, that concludes the taxpayer's evidence. Oh, I wish that he could homestead it, but he can't. I don't normally tell people what they should do with their property or their money, but in his case, the reason he was advised to sell it is because he just can't homestead it. There's nothing to homestead. He's in a travel trailer. So if he moves somewhere, like if he traded with somebody for a $60,000 condo in Fulton, he could immediately homestead it and he would pay no taxes because he's fully disabled. He's fully disabled. So if somebody bought that $60,000 efficiency condo because he's one guy and said, "Here, you go live here, and I'll just take this. I'll take it off your hands," then it costs him. And the person who just bought this big old lot in Peninsula Oaks for $60,000, which would be pretty great.
Where is that in relation to the school?
About a mile south of it. You got to go. So you go down Griffith, and then you take a little dog legs around St. Francis Circle, and then you're on Weeping Willow, and you just keep following. There's like 3 turns to make to get there.
Got it.
There you go. So this is the lake right here. Pull it up there.
Oh,
You
okay.
go down Griffith and then we St. Francis Circle and Willow. That's where it is.
Got it. So it's south on 35?
Mhm.
Yeah, if you keep
Here's
going,
St.
it
Francis
actually
Circle.
feels much.
Oh,
closer to
okay.
where
Corpus Christi Street off the bypass.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Right here.
Man, Cindy, if we had 60,000, we could get him a little place.
Ramona, I know, but here's the problem. Then we'd have to build some.
Well, he has to let you help him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he would.
You would think.
Do you have 60,000?
Again.
No, I was just thinking that we could throw him in a condo,
Really? I mean, that's like,
right?
yeah.
I wish I had that. So Eamon, you're saying that these aren't worth anything.
I don't think
Can
Well,
we just
no,
value-
because
I think that they're
custom.
they're nice. Like it is a nice building. Like it could be used for something, but it's as much of a liability as it is an asset. It's one of those things that's like for every person that thinks it's useful, someone doesn't want it there.
And
So
if you want to,
it ends up being net nothing.
and if you want to fix it, when you have to, then it would be custom work, which would be way more to fix it.
No, but I'm saying somebody would like, so if I had this, I would think, okay, you clear part of it, you put a mobile home right there, or you build a house if you want to do that. But then that could just be exactly like you said, a giant storage shed. I mean, it's a
Right.
serious building.
Like the size of a basketball court?
Well, look at his travel trailer.
It's big.
But it's not a small building.
And it's like the red iron framing is on 12-inch.
Oh, the churches. Some of the churches that, like the Vietnamese church that got blown out.
Yeah, I mean, you could put, like I said, you could, if you're a guy who wants to have a place to lift boat engines or something like that. My wife lifts weights, and I'm sure this would be plenty of room to do that. We can put a little place to do
Tires.
school in there.
Tires that you did.
Yeah.
Somebody does with it.
Yeah, you could.
We just need to.
It wouldn't be a home, but that's the thing is that for everybody who's like me, saying, hey, that could be useful for something that's pretty nice. There's somebody else going, man, I want a lot on Weeping Willow. I don't want this weird metal building. There's a guy who builds barndominiums who lives down the road, and he's like a barndominium expert. And he, I was like, hey, go talk to that guy. But again, you can lead a horse to water.
Right.
Okay, can't we just value this on
Okay.
the
Oh, yeah.
I just can't make a motion, guys.
Okay, Ramona, you want to make a motion?
Well, I'm gonna make a motion. I'll throw it out there and see what y'all think. I make a motion on account number 61410 that we reduce the improvement to $5,000, leaving the land at the $88,000, which would address the incorrect appraisal ratio to exceed the median level. We discussed the exemptions. The homeowner can't get it on a travel trailer. The property description seems to be correct. The incorrect appraised market value of, I don't remember what that says. Hold on. I think this is the wrong form. Come on. Other is the 85% increase. This also addresses the incorrect appraised market value of the land under special appraisal ag use open space, temporary disaster, damage exemption denied, property description is incorrect, incorrect damage assessment rating to the property qualified for a temporary disaster exemption. What do y'all think?
Second,
All in favor?
You need to say a total.
Oh, a total, run 93. It's 90.
Yeah, yeah. A total of 93,000.
Those in favor?
Aye,
Okay, motion passed.
great.
Yay, good job.
Okay, our 10 o'clock is going to a meeting room and he's gonna be doing it by phone.
Is he ready now?
I don't know if he's in yet.
what number is it?
He's doing a meeting room here.
No, yeah, you're in town.
Oh, but not here. Okay.
Is this 17?
He is, the whole docket looks like the first one is going to be case number 173.
This is the full.
Yes.
That's the one that was moving in person.
Yes.
Yeah.
And is that the only one we have for 10 o'clock?
Yeah, but he has 6 properties.
3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So pages 2 and 3.
Yeah, so send me time to do the Zoom phone.
If you guys want to reach out and help them, go for it.
I wonder if like the Vietnamese church or something might be interested.
Aren't they starting to build already?
I'm not, honestly, Ramona, I can't remember. And I'll at least mention it to them. Trying to think who else got knocked out, that would be a
That
good.
building's gonna take a lot of work.
I mean, if you also stuck like a little Dirksen building on there or anything that was got that Quonset hut to where it was air conditioned and had plumbing, anything that would make it an MA, no matter how big it is, we could homestead it.
What is that little round, another Quonset hut kind
Yeah.
of thing?
The Quonset hut could be made into.
Anything that, like, when people are living in travel trailers that they're just, because they get license plates, they're not real property, you just can't homestead a travel trailer. A property has to have a main area that's livable to homestead it. So there are people who have basically storage buildings or like sheds that they sort of seal up, they stick a window unit on it, it's got a sink, it's got a toilet.
It has to have a sink and a toilet.
Yeah, well, it has to be habitable. And there's rules about that. You can't live in a place without electricity. It's actually not. Which I think that Texas law requires too much of a home. And it's done out of it's like not wanting to have like the colonias on the border where they're like third world countries. They're like, well, we'll make a law saying that people aren't allowed to live like that.
Oh.
But the problem is in doing that, there are people who like all
Want
they're
to
looking
live that
for
way.
out of the house is I want mosquitoes and the rain out there and me in here. There's a lot of people we've seen after Harvey, places got destroyed. They put up the sheathing on the outside. They get it like to where the AC's going and they're like, okay, if my house isn't done, but I can at least take a break in here. And that break lasts for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And they're like siding. I mean, when you're on the couch watching TV, you don't remember if there's siding out there or not, And so, but unfortunately, that kind of thing doesn't qualify as being like, that's not a suitable residence legally. But like, no, I think it should. If people are willing to live in a tent, if you want to take a car and pull the wheels off of it, put curtains up on the windows and say, this is my house.
Some people do.
Do it, just affix it to the land so it doesn't blow away. If you just take some stakes and put it in there and strap it down, I think that you should be allowed to say, that's my house.
So people that live in train cars and all, the old ones, that they're not able to say that's their home?
They know, it's like that's a
It's
problem.
not big enough.
That's a problem. And also, it also has to be over 300 and
300
something
square
square feet, 396 square feet or whatever.
Well, what about those little small homes?
That's what those are for. They're kept that small so they don't pay taxes.
So you can't homestead it.
You can't homestead them. Like a park model, you can't homestead a park
So
model.
you don't own land unless it's an investment, if you have one of those. You should, to put it somewhere.
Like a
where you-
park, yeah, like
Yeah.
a park or something.
I didn't, I just hadn't thought it through.
Yeah. So
Do I
that's-
have to make a phone call and waiting for this person or what?
Yeah,
you still have
go
to-
make one real quick.
You're doing here yet? Oh, okay.
He's not there yet?
Not here yet.
So you need to go take a bathroom break or something, you can, or make a phone
I
call.
was just thinking that we've waited 45 minutes for him.
No, he was at 10 o'clock.
Well, still, he called at 9:45, driving down here and going back. Water Street.
Hey, Cindy, don't remember those. Is there another one in that bucket?
What?
Did you eat the last one? With those in your hand. Is there one more in there?
I'm sorry, they're all gone.
Oh, good. I don't need to have one anyway. Look, you're look at you, and I was like, okay, good. I'm not gonna eat one. You should have just kept it like that.
And
I didn't like anything else in that bowl.
I knew y'all being as close was a bad idea. Val said since there's multiple, you're supposed to follow the
We
list.
can just do it once.
Yeah.
Yay! I told Charlie at the beginning, I said, Charlie, all these years, we've been reading in all of them. If they're owned by the same person and they're very similar, that's how we've always done it. And so I'm so glad we're doing it now.
But no, she just wants you to follow that list, but each one has the affidavit.
Affidavit is different.
Well, I gave you the 1703, right? That was the first one I gave you. It's just the list in the order that she says that we have to follow.
Okay.
So the first one I gave you was 1703.
I may have to do it, too. I may have to do it two different emails. What would I email it to?
Oh, my favorite, huh?
I hope y'all really do like
I'm sorry.
what that guy said. What any person who happens to live, I'm sorry, not what any one person said. But on Key Allegro, the Bay Shore, for real, that is so, because here's the other piece of the problem that homeowner has no control over. There is a piece, you buy the property, you know you're on the ocean, it's your fault if you didn't do. But I am telling you, there's no way you would ever know that it can do what it has done. Okay, and I'm not talking hurricane, I'm talking every year.
Yeah, just general.
Okay, and how a dock that's
Maybe like
way off the water because you
5
built it up
minutes
so it
and
wouldn't
then
get torn up because you think your stupid neighbors built it, theirs too close to the water, and that's why they keep having to replace the boards, which are not insurable. Okay, you build it up like this,
Okay.
well, here just comes a good old just rainstorm with a lot of wind, there goes your pier.
Yeah.
Okay, but the part you cannot control that has just happened in the last 2 years since the hurricane
Uh-huh.
is like
3/4 of a cup of chicken broth.
when we
After I
bought,
sauteed it and put a whole can of coconut milk in there.
there's an association of homeowners, and there is a book of the rules. Okay,
It was good.
so,
That sounds good.
It was
you
really
know,
good.
people, and especially if you bought
Did you
more
put it
than
on
one
top?
property
I
and not
put
in
it
the
on-
same year, so you
Very good.
bought, and then 10 years later you buy this, and
I
then
almost
5
put it on
years
that.
later you buy that.
I
Okay,
was gonna do curry.
the
I was gonna
homeowners
do curry
association
chicken,
after the
and I
hurricane,
like, but
it
I
became
didn't
a
have red curry.
group,
All I had was the yellow.
okay, on one section of the island
Yeah.
who do not
They
live,
live like way down at the end, right
It's a
near the
different
fire or
taste.
something.
Look.
okay?
Oh,
And so, you know, so friends do agree with each other. Okay, I mean, I'm
There's that.
not,
There's some other.
they're doing what
Yeah,
people
those
just do
empanadas are good.
naturally,
I know.
okay?
People
I like
have
it.
a
Isn't that
version
really-
of the neighborhood.
that-
maybe not the same thing.
Exactly, and so they're very strong
Right.
because they
Oh,
all
no.
live
Truck that
in
travels around.
that same area, same, so, you know, everything is the same from their viewpoint.
Yeah. Like,
But
I
But
don't know
they
why
don't, they're forgetting the viewpoint of the people, and the reason that they loved
You
Keel
do lunch tomorrow?
Negro was because of all the different entities and
Oh, I'm not doing
how
lunch tomorrow.
diverse it was. That's
I'm
what made
leaving
it
at,
interesting, you know, because
1
you had your
o'clock.
little old fishermen, and, you know,
Right.
you had a bit of everything.
For what?
But those houses on Bayshore, now different rules are being applied to you that were not, and you thought, because
No.
you got a
Gotta
a
wear my
book.
glasses all week.
Well, you know
These are the
what? Did you
bylaws.
see that yesterday?
So now the
I
bylaws
was
totally
like,
changed. They won't give you a thing,
And I
and they
couldn't
won't
figure
allow
out.
it, they won't give you a
but
permit
then your hair
and
was
allow
super
you to
perfect.
build
Mhm.
And I
until
was like,
you fix your concrete
she looks
behind your
like there's
house
something different about her.
to what
No,
their
I-
not your engineer or 5
I'm not like
engineers,
very,
but what their person who's on the
I am
committee
observant,
thinks is appropriate.
Right.
like by my surroundings.
Well, the
Yeah.
thing
And
that,
that's
not
scary.
the thing that property
Because
owners
people I
do
know,
have
they
control
don't
over
Yeah.
in that is
I
their
figured it'd be a
ability
big
to
deal.
sell their property
People would know that they
for
were
less. Not that everybody would have to sell it, but
Well,
the people
I
who
noticed something was
sell
wrong.
it.
Not wrong, but something was
People who
different.
sell it.
yeah.
Everybody's
And then I
gonna buy
thought,
and
did
sell
you
for
put
a
here?
reason.
Because when we walked
But when they do
office,
get sold, they
Yeah.
just need to sell for less. Because
and
they
yesterday I was
need a
looking
more
at you like,
educated buyer who's gonna be willing to pay less. Seller needs
Oh,
to
we
pay
just
less.
mentioned it.
That
No,
actually is happening
is
That
she
one-
here?
in
Yeah.
the reserves.
she's here today.
So
She's
the
leaving in the
reserve
afternoon,
pays
then
an
they were taking
extra
her to the doctor's.
1% tax.
I need to call the county.
So their
and
tax
get-
and sales are just
Are they doing
unbelievable. And a large number of them were
Oh,
sold
I need to.
That's where my boys went.
and were kind of in love with it.
I need to
But I don't know about the
Because
second
you don't
wave.
look at what
Well, I
anybody
need to
else is
come here
doing.
and get
and
like
it's a
insurance
real
card. I don't
deal.
have a health insurance card. We
And
cut
they
a
said, well, what are
cavity
my
right
taxes
here.
gonna be on this? This is really
And she got her
expensive.
braces
And they
and And
said,
it was like.
this is how they
represented.
represented to a lot of
Even
the
for
buyers.
Everything was closed.
Here's the
That was it.
tax
Oh, no,
bill
I
we
think
paid
Dr.
last
Schultz
year on the
makes-
model home.
Or-
That
I go to the one by the tax.
But
office.
they hadn't
About
said-
The model home that they own
And
is
then
on a
that new
special
one is open up by
inventory value.
Walmart.
They have
Always,
a
or whatever.
tax
And
discount of
somebody had
like
commented on this,
70%.
they like this.
And do they
It's
like?
not a home, you can't
got
live in it,
insurance?
it's a
I don't
model
know,
home.
but I know that.
It's like,
The
Do
wire
you
it's
is
have
not
an
for
insurance?
sale.
No
It's
insurance
Yeah,
just-
America.
So that
Okay,
is
but I
like,
don't have a card.
that's not good that
But
they
It's
do that.
really,
I need to send
Well,
cards to
that's
Michael.
bad, but also
They
the
do
buyer
like,
should never just, that's not
I don't get
sufficient for planning your
Yeah.
taxes on $900,000 purchase. That's
Because
just,
I
right,
have.
they go, oh, I saw it going last year, I'll just
receiving
go off that.
online.
But they did that and they're getting
Like,
these
my
bills
top
and they're
people are
so
doing,
high
right, these bottom
and the
things.
development is so slow that people
So I
are
have to get my
saying,
teeth cleaned
never
because they're
mind.
so
Yeah.
sensitive.
I'm gonna sell my lot and I'll buy one over here in some other place. And this year their
My
land
mom
value
and dad
went
had
down.
all
And it went down
the
because
top teeth,
it was like
Nobody's
250 a
gonna buy
year
them
ago and
anymore.
now it's like,
but it's like right here.
and that's, it's really what's happening. It's like, there's people who bought, there's someone who bought a lot, I think,
Brush my
Sunset
teeth.
I'm not
Bay,
embarrassed in the teeth, but I
like
have
15 years ago
I'm missing a tooth.
for like
Oh my.
$80,000. And it's currently like,
You keep telling me
22.
Oh,
oh yeah, I mean, they thought they were getting in on the ground floor, so something was about to really happen. And it just
You gonna
didn't
do a
happen.
charity event or what?
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
I'll take it.
That kind of thing happens, and that sucks. You don't
They
want your
sealed
land
my
value
teeth
going
last
down.
time.
You don't want your
They sealed
location
my
value
molars.
going
I
down.
just went
But it has to show itself in transactions.
Put
Like
your teeth out, you need
when
to.
I lived in on 1781, it's like a giant bluff, and the people who owned the land had a bulkhead that's probably probably 4 feet wide. Massive. It's like something you can see on the edge of the city. And coincidentally, that you can keep inside of Aransas City. But that, I think that it was built much more recently than that. It's like a modern squared off bulkhead. But it's bulging, and there was a leak showing through it with a bunch of water stain coming down. And then if you back up the bluff, there was a portion of the land that had a hole in it. And I told the property owner, I told our landlord, I said, hey, you know, your bulkhead has got an issue. It's eroding, like your house is up the top of this bluff. You got to put some money into that. That's a really nice bulkhead. You should take care of it. And they were like, oh, well, you know, yeah, we saw that when we bought the place, but it's been here forever and it's going to be here forever. And like, it was like beyond their thought
Comprehension.
of like some, I guess the they're thinking of it like, you know, the pyramid or something.
Do they live there full time?
No, it's
That's the problem. They don't live there.
well, they
full
live, they're
time.
from San Antonio and they bought it and they're renting it out. They're not, they didn't appreciate what the bulkhead was doing, how important it was, and the fact that that's really seriously their bulkhead. Like, that's yours now. You own a geoengineering project that is doing something really significant, holding up a bluff on the edge of a very active bay.
Right.
And you're like at war with nature with this wall, and they didn't realize how much would go into that. And then when they started having to do stuff to it after the storm, we're like, oh my God, this is costing hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I was like, yeah, that's what I've been saying. But
here.
unfortunately, when they
And the password is, what's the
when they bought
password?
it
It's
and it messed
password,
up,
right?
They didn't
No,
think,
something about
oh, there's a problem here that I'll have to fix. But at the same
No,
time,
they need the password.
Hey, for the Wi-Fi, is it password?
there is no password.
There is no
That's
password.
what, yeah.
No, that's what
The
you type.
password is-
There's no password. That's the password. I knew it was something weird.
All one word.
Yeah.
No cats, right?
Color on your
Yeah.
nails.
But if you have a really nice bulkhead
Like a
10
blood
years
wine.
ago,
Yeah.
and you say, hey, I've got this
That's
lot,
not
I've got this house, put a bunch of time, money into it, I'm gonna sell it
I
for,
kind of like
you know,
this.
720,000. People go, oh my, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
This
the
house
powder
is,
stuff
I
on my
paid
nails.
100,000 less than that. You say, yeah, but mine is an amazing bulkhead. Look at it.
Like a
People would go,
little,
I don't care about your bulkhead. This guy's got a bulkhead. Everybody's got a bulkhead. Like,
Yeah,
but
it's
mine's
called,
good. Theirs sucks. And they don't know the difference. And they won't pay for it. And then
Right.
the people that are grumpy are just like, man, nobody, I can't sell this place for what it's worth. I paid all the money for the bulkhead. No one wants to buy it, you know? And when we would value it, we tell people like, dude, we never picked up your bulkhead. Like, people aren't paying for the bulkhead.
They don't, but you know what?
They need to.
But
they are.
Eamon, until you live on it,
Yeah,
you
I mean,
you can't understand.
well, I mean, I grew up here, so it's like it's on my radar. You know, hurricanes and bulkheads.
You
are like-
still can't understand until you sit there and you watch it happen and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Somebody isn't messing with me. It's the water that keeps knocking the light bulbs out of my security light.
Yeah.
The picture's fine, but the action of the waves turns the light bulb to where it falls out,
Yeah.
okay? I mean, for years, I thought somebody was messing with us.
So,
And it was the wave action.
the bay is like
It's crazy.
it seems almost like it has a mind of its own and it does stuff. If you look at what happened after that
My
surge
phone?
from Hannah,
Okay.
thinking about the Fulton Beach
Okay.
Road.
It showed me how lucky we were that Harvey didn't have us. We could have never come back if we'd gotten the surge
Do you have
with
your
Harvey
email from
on
your
top
phone?
of what we got.
Have
We
you ever
couldn't have.
emailed from your phone?
Yeah, it would have been.
Which one do you
rough.
use?
I don't know. People would have wanted to put the money back into it right away.
I had a
But
calendar. Obviously, there's
which
no,
is part of the
email
course
here.
for
That's what
hurricanes
that
around here,
means.
actually. That's kind of what
Is he still not there, Jackie?
Addresses?
What, Ramona?
We're looking, she's checking if the
Is
guys.
he still not there?
he just came on.
Perfect timing.
Yep.
You ready?
Y'all ready?
We're ready. But Eamon, I want to hear about Fulton Beach Road.
Yeah.
Okay, keep there.
Okay. And is this Gary Thompson?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. So, and is it okay if I call you Gary?
Yes, ma'am. You certainly may.
All right. This is Cindy Duck. I'm on the Appraisal Review Board. Kathy Hoffman is here and she's on the Appraisal Review Board. And then Ramona LeBlanc is here, but she's doing it via Zoom. And she's on the Appraisal Review Board. And then we have Ann, who is with the actual appraisal district. Okay? And I am going to commence or begin the hearing. This first one is on account number 46565. It's case number 1703. This hearing is being recorded. We are the appraisal review board that will be hearing your protest today. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. The comptroller's office provides an electronic survey for you to offer feedback about your experience today, and that may be assessed at the appraisal district office or online at SurveyMonkey. The survey is voluntary. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you along with our determination. In accordance with tax code section 41.45H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. So, George, have you given the appraisal district all the evidence that you plan on using during this hearing?
George?
Gary.
I'm sorry, Gary, gosh, I am so sorry. Forgive me.
I keep changing the name, but little joke. Yes, I have submitted.
Anything? Is that what you said?
And it was done so in person this morning in the parking lot.
Okay. All right, so that's done. The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest, and we're signing affidavits to that effect. I, Cindy Duck, do solemnly swear I've not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66F.
I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F and am paying to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
I was notarizing Ramona's signature.
I, Eamon Burke, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board of the Aransas County Appraisal District is correct.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath. So I'm assuming that you are under oath as you signed the affidavit. Is that right, Gary?
Yes, ma'am, that is my understanding.
All right. Do you hold a license or certificate from the Texas Appraiser Licensing and Certification Board?
I do not. I am an individual owner, along with my.
Yes. Okay. And also, I need to swear in all the account numbers that we'll be doing so that we don't all have to do this, with each different account, if you're okay with that, Gary.
It is.
Okay. So we're going to do account number 46565, which is case 1703. We're going to do account number 46564. That's case number 1756. We're going to do account number 46569. That is case number 1757. And then we're going to do account number 31895. And that is case number 1758. So now, do you have the pages that the appraisal district gave? He did swear in.
Oh, you did swear?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You have the pages they gave you, and in there was something called the hearing procedure times. It just says you get to present for 5 minutes, then the district does this, then you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
All right, so do you get to have the choice in this? Do you want to present first, or do you want the district to present first?
Given the choice, I would let the district present first.
All right, so that's what we'll do.
Okay, the property ID is 46563. and this is a note that it was 50% complete last year. It was valued at $91,290. This is a condo in Laguna Reef. It was noticed at $186,380. This one is number 408. Comps that were used were sales from this year in Laguna Reef. They're very similar to the subject. The first, actually, I think none of them have adjustments, actually. Wow. And none of them have any adjustments. They're all exactly the same floor plan. And they sold for $190, $185, $907, and $195. Giving median indicated value for the subject at $190. We have noticed them at $186,380. The equity grid just shows the other condos that are exactly the same layout, no adjustments. They're noticed also at $186,380, same as his. The sales ratio report for condos showing that we're at 1.02, 102% of sale value of condos in Aransas County for the year. In summary, just a very congruent condo with its neighbors. We have 3 sales, all from 2019. Well, they're good market sales of 621 square foot condos, and it's 185, 190, 195. So that says it should be about 190. That's it.
Okay, Gary, you have 2 minutes to cross-examine and 5 minutes to make your presentation, so 7 minutes. Like to start?
Yes. You mentioned that in 2019, the property was appraised at 50% of value. In that, you also mentioned that there has been some sales in the respective 190,000, 185,000, even 175,000 for similar and like kind. But all of these sales, do you have any that were incomplete, that were sold in their post-Harvey condition following the hurricane? Because renovation on this unit did not begin until 2019 by via of the permits. And I'm wondering how you evaluated this particular condo in its incompleted state.
Is it it's our belief that it was 100% complete inside, is it not, on January 1st?
It was not.
Okay, what was it like inside? Give me an idea.
Inside, it was, and in my file, I actually offered a color-coded spreadsheet specifically referring to this. And to answer your question directly, the walls were up. The flooring was not in place. Well, excuse me, the flooring was in place, but the cabinets and the countertops were lacking. And we estimated it to be in 80% condition, even though it was still currently inhabitable, because there was no toilet fixtures or things that would normally be provided to stay there.
Okay, so there's no shower and toilet in there?
That's correct. The shower had been taken out, along with all the way down to the studs, as the 2019 value reflected in the file that I dropped off shows all the pictures. And we estimated that in January, Unit 408 was 80% complete.
In January of 2020?
That is correct.
Okay, and is there, there's no, is the AC and the electrical finished out, or?
The AC was, but the electrical was not.
I will point out that
This
But
is our
he's-
evidence.
But he's testifying that that's the condition of it.
But we don't have any.
That's okay, he's just telling us. It's not complete, not complete.
Right.
But it was inspected.
According
It
to our
wasn't.
you should know that according, if I were to, if a field appraiser were out there and seeing that condition, probably put the house at like 60%.
First on page 6.
Not 80.
Rochester. There's a bunch of them. When he presents his case, you can see it. It's not in this, but it's in there.
Okay.
It's on
The evidence?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Rochester taxpayer evidence,
Under protest?
under taxpayer submitted evidence.
But see, look, that's all we have.
Hold on one second, Gary, I'm sorry.
Oh, I mean, I can put it up on the screen when he goes there.
I'll be happy to. I want to thank everyone for allowing me to do this by phone with y'all.
Well, we appreciate your honesty.
So with that in mind, that I would say that we should probably put this at 130. Is that agreeable?
That is agreeable.
All right. Kathy, verify with him again that he's saying.
And Jackie, just put a note in there to check complete for 2021.
Okay.
I make a motion regarding account 46565, in addressing correct appraised market value. The, as indicated to us, that this property is only, it's not complete, and we placed a value and reducing the price to 130,000. Need a second?
Yeah, Ramona, can you second that?
I didn't hear everything.
Say it again. Oh, you couldn't hear me? I'm sorry.
No.
Okay, regarding account 46565 and addressing incorrect appraised market value, protester has indicated to us that the condo on January 1, we estimate was 60% complete, thereby dropping the price to 130,000.
I second that.
All in favor? Aye.
I,
Motion passed. So, on account number 46565, you're clear with that amount, right, Gary?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that hearing is closed. I'm now opening hearing on case number 20201704.
Do you want to switch to the Laguna refunds and do them all?
Yeah, that's what I'm,
It's 1736.
I'll look at this list. I'm sorry, I'm gonna change that, and I'm so sorry, y'all. All right, so account number 46564, case number 1756.
It's 1736.
it's got 3 more.
You can do 56, either one.
See, on this list that I have, I don't have a 3-6. I only have a 5-6.
Page in the-
There's 2 other ones after this, but Val wants you to follow this list. She's been evidence.
Okay,
Oh, so don't skip.
I didn't skip. I did it.
No, I think she said she wants
She wants us to do what account?
We're doing the one I just called out. We're doing
1756.
Okay.
46564, and it's case number 1756. Do you have it, Ramona?
Yes, I do.
Kathy?
Yes.
Gary?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you got it? That's unit 407 in Laguna Reef, okay?
That is also correct.
Okay, good. All right. So everything stands the same because we've already sworn in on these accounts. So you're still under oath and everything. Do you want to go first or do you?
You have to do your affidavit.
No, we don't have to because we did it as one. We're gonna have them add the numbers on there.
Oh, all right.
Who said that, Val?
Are you ready now?
I don't know that we,
We got the, she read in all the property IDs,
Oh,
account
okay.
number, case numbers. For this one hearing.
Okay, go for it.
okay, so, and I'm sorry, Gary, did you say you go first or the district?
Didn't say it.
Well, normally I would let the district go first, but since he's already done so, I'll go first on this one if it's in agreement to the group where you're at.
It's totally your choice who goes first, so there you go.
You got
Okay.
5.
As one of the panel members mentioned earlier about the previous case, Laguna Reef, these units are repetitive, for the lack of a better term, cookie cutter by design. The 408 that we've already resolved was a right-hand single bedroom. And 407, which we're doing now, is a left-hand single bedroom. And these two units are unique in the fact that they share a common wall. A wall that was since removed because of the damage incurred to it with permission of the HOA. All things said and considered, it is in the same state of renovation as 408. And again, the renovation started in March of 2019. It is still ongoing. And in January of 2020, it was the same as 408.
You just go ahead and make a motion.
Yep.
I'll make a motion regarding account
Need to speak up, Kathy.
46564 in addressing the incorrect appraised market value. The protester has indicated to us that that condo is not complete. We're putting in a completion rate of 60% on the property, bringing the value to $130,000.
I second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Passed. So, sir, you heard that one, right? Gary?
Yes, I did.
So we are now closing that, that case, and now I am opening account number 46569, which is case number 2020-1757, page 3, the third one down. And this would be unit 412.
That is correct.
All right, so Gary, you want to go first, or you want the district to go first?
I'll go first on this one.
Okay.
Again, this is a similar and like kind of condo to the two previous we discussed. 412 is a single right-hand bedroom, and it has been renovated in concert with the others. I think the word is used concurrently with the general contractor. Again, it wasn't started until March of 2019, and it's actually further behind the other two than in its completion, but the walls are up. However, there's no flooring in place in January of 2020.
What do you think of the percentage of completion is, or was?
Was it the same?
For the sake of the court and in this hearing, I would accept the same as 60%, although to answer directly, it's really in that 50% stage with the exception of the walls. But I would accept the 60%.
That sounds good. So
Okay, we do.
Make a motion.
Okay, regarding account 46569 and addressing incorrect appraised market value. The protester has indicated that the condo is approximately 60% complete, thereby reducing the price to $130,000.
I'd second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passed. That hearing on account number 46569 is closed. We're now opening account number 31895, case number 0201758. That is,
Cindy?
Yes.
There's one more at Laguna Reef.
I'm having to do it. I have a list that was given to me by Val,
Never mind.
and they want me to do it in that order, and I'm sorry.
Whatever. That's okay.
Okay. So maybe we'll come back to it.
Repeat the account number again, I'm sorry.
Yes. Okay. The account number is 31895. And the case number is 2020-1758. It's on the last one on page 3. And that would be the Rockport Racket and Yacht Club Condos Unit S74. All right, so Gary, do you want to go first or you want the district to go first?
And this one, I'll let the district go first.
Okay.
Okay, so. Give me the case number again.
31895.
No, the case number.
Oh, I'm sorry, 1758. I'm sorry, 1758. Sorry.
Yeah, my
I
tablet's
know.
doing that thing.
Got it. Got it. Oh, jumping around. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm looking at the, one that we were gonna look at before, I have to reload it.
I understand. I'm sorry.
Okay, so this is in Racket Club, it's 31895. The last sale price billed to the district was for $100 under 230, so $229,900 in 2016. The notice value for 2020 was $231,900. The sales comp grid is showing other units. The first one is the sale of the one next door, it looks like, 31896. It sold for $246,450 in February of 2020. The next one is sold in April of 2020. It's a little bit smaller. It sold for $265. And then the another one sold in December of 19. That is the same size as the subject for $185. So the median indicated value is $245,925. It was noticed at $231,900. The equity grid shows other condos that are very much like the subject, and they're being appraised at the exact same number. These condos actually have their own class because that's how condos are done.
That was 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Man, I must have passed out or something.
The sales ratio report for this area and condos up here show we're at 98% for the county. And I will point out that it's shown to be just 100% complete. It's depreciated from 1983. Right around when it sold for in 2016. So unless there's something unusual about it, that's where that number. That's all.
Okay, Gary, we have 2 minutes to cross-examine and 5 minutes for presentation, so 7 minutes.
Yes, in cross-examine, are you aware that at the Racket Club, there's both downstairs and upstairs unit that are connected by a stairway?
Yeah.
Do you also know
how many buildings these condos are housed in, because they're not all in the.
Right. I don't know how many buildings there are off the top of my head, but I know what you mean, that they're not contiguous buildings.
Okay. With that, I'm ready to enter into my presentation.
All righty.
All right. Racket Club is composed of 17 buildings. I am in one of those, and the property in question is Unit 74, which is upstairs and has several, if not more, adjoining condos listed as what was mentioned earlier, both in value and sale. What I think was overlooked or underappraised in Unit 74 was in the spring of 2019, the HOA at the Racket Club was trying to correct foundation repair that occurred to this particular building. In so doing, they hammerjacked the building and inadvertently compromised some of the walls, literally creating collateral damage. They did complete repairs of the foundation, and I did submit pictures this morning for consideration showing where one of my patio glass walls are cracked from the floor to the ceiling and separated at the floor all the way across. And I've had a contractor look at this, Richard Diaz to be specific, and he talked about it would cost at least $20,000 to fix that. And since the HOA owns everything in the walls and the doors of this type, we have to get permission to fix those things. And we've not gotten permission as of yet because they still plan to get to it after they settle their ongoing suit with TWIA. That being the case, I think that this unit would have less of a value by at least 10%, if not more, purpose of appraisal.
So did this happen in 2020 or in 2019?
This happened in 2019.
Oh, the jackhammering and all was in 2019?
That is correct. They asked us to take loose things off the wall. They did the jackhammering, and then this is the results of it in respect to my unit.
So is the unit livable?
They are. I cannot confirm or deny if water is leaking down to the unit below me, but I can say that with the exception of some water intrusion to my unit, it is livable, and which is also why I requested a modest reduction rather than a severe one.
What was your opinion value of it?
A number I
didn't
had
hear the number.
was 10% less of what the county has, and that total amount would be $208,710.
He's agreeable to that.
He agreed.
Yeah.
Raymond says yes.
All right.
Yeah, I looked at the house that sold, found some interior pictures of it to see if it was different and sold, what it was like. And yeah, the thing got some issues that are different about it.
Okay, Gary, the district agrees with you. So I'll make a motion on account 31895 regarding incorrect appraised market value. Protest stated that there is damage and ongoing issues with the unit. And because of that, we're reducing the value of the property to $208,710.
I second that.
In favor? Aye.
Aye.
Gary, just so you know, next year that value is gonna go back to just whatever the normal condos are. So if this doesn't get fixed, I mean, if it gets fixed in this year, then just don't worry about it. Just go on with your day. But if it's still an outstanding problem by January, just let us know.
Okay, I'll make a point to do that. And I would hope it would be fixed by then, because that would also indicate that the Racket Club's ongoing legal battle with TWIA will have been resolved.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, okay. All right, so the next one, let's see. The next one is case number 20201704. And the property ID is 33607.
Yes.
Okay. Is everybody there?
We have.
Ramona, you got it?
Yep.
So, I closed the last hearing. I'm now opening a hearing on case number 2020-1704, account number 33607. So Gary, do you want the district to go first or you?
For the sake of everyone involved, I'll go first on this one.
Okay.
5 minutes.
This particular property is 2 lots joined together, but in undeveloped state. It has no water meter, no electric meter, and it's surrounded by fence, 3 of the 4 sides, with the only opening where the Jenkins Street itself runs in front. Because it's undeveloped, I think it would be unfair to compare it to other lots that have been developed. And likewise, across the street, a Walgreens was built, and the Walgreens has the rear of its store, thereby changing the view to a brick driveway, parking lot, Bayside view. So we're requesting a modest 10% reduction, mainly because of the undeveloped nature of it. But in addition, because the view is what it is, if that's allowed to be taken in consideration.
Anything else, Gary?
Anything else you want to add?
That's all.
Okay. District has 7 minutes.
7 minutes. Hey, Jackie, could you stay on Picto? Could you just pick up some properties for me?
Mhm.
Look up 33612.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Oh, there's one last comment, if I can add. Or expired.
No, go ahead.
Okay. This particular property has some a few stately oak trees that have been there for over 100 years, and we lost a couple of those, which may also affect the value of the property.
Thank you.
Can you look up 33610 or 3316?
Is that the property there? That's on your-
Yeah, this one's adjacent. It's like adjoining it.
Right now, okay, they're down here.
These are. Is that 33160?
Oh, sorry. We're looking at the pictos, the pictures of properties
Yeah.
around you, okay, Gary?
Three.
Yeah. And I also left y'all with a Google Earth picture that was enlarged and
Okay.
black and white, complements yours.
Okay.
We'll give you an opportunity to make comments right now at the district's time.
3, 2,
413.
okay, and 882-1241. Okay, and then 31963. And then 65192. Okay, and 8822029. Okay. Oh yeah, let's see what happens. So, Rockport Apartments. Okay, so thanks for your patience. I was just looking up the aerial imagery of our sales comps. The property in question was noticed at 42,000 for 2020. Last year's value was also 42,000. The sales grid shows vacant land sales in the area. They're the ones I was just looking at on the aerial imagery. They're just undeveloped lots also. At the bottom of the grid, it shows Jackie was kind enough to put a price per square foot on there, indicated by the sale, and it's $244, $591, $714, $6.87, and $6.52. The subject's at $2.80. Being behind the Walgreens is it's not as nice to do as it would be at something else, but I think the rest of the neighborhood overwhelms the fact that it's behind the Walgreens. I think that the value is fine, but it's a bummer that they lost trees, but you're gonna have to remove some of those trees to put a house there anyway. But I think our value is fine on this. Our sales grid supports that. Those are sales in the area that are just undeveloped land, that sort of old Rockport area. They're on Live Oak, Patton, Linden, Church, I think is one of them.
Like, go back to the place, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so our sales grid, the first one is 20,000 square feet. And it's actually, this one and the later one is the same. They're attached. Where is it?
Oh, you're talking the other one that's in?
Yeah, the other one it's across from Rockport Apartments. Like one's faces Live Oak and the other faces Linden.
The Pat, well,
Is it Pat?
901 would be Pat.
Okay. Yeah, so this is it's indicating 652 per foot, and then this is the so anyways, the 20,000 is bigger parcel, but it's 71,000 square feet, 28,000 square feet, 29,000 square feet, and 57,000 square feet, and subject is 42 per square foot. And again, nothing changed this year. It didn't get any kind of adjustment.
It did get.
We need to indicate also that he's protesting this on the 2525D.
I don't think that's necessary.
I don't either.
No, it's not. I'm just indicating that he is.
Oh, okay.
Therefore,
I think,
Overpriced.
I
Well, it
think
wouldn't-
let's
it wouldn't
ask
apply
him.
to
I think,
Well, again, a 2525D doesn't allow you to do something.
I wish I'd clarified with him because I don't think he marked that on purpose.
could you indicate your protest as a 2525D correction? Do you know what?
Hey, Gary,
I'm listening.
okay, when you turned in your protest form, what were you trying to protest this on? Market value, equity?
Actually both, but
Okay,
more
both.
so.
I don't know why it said that. The
It shouldn't.
protest notice checked market
Oh, market value? Okay, so anyway, our paperwork had the wrong thing. So that's why I was asking you. It had to,
This is not an online protest.
oh, it wasn't? So you're actually able to see it.
It's probably just an error.
Okay, so it was just an error. So it doesn't matter. You're fine whatever you answer. So you don't have to worry about it. Okay? So it's just Q1.
In any case, he's indicating that he's okay with the value at 42,000. So are you through?
Yes.
All right, Gary, you have 2 minutes to cross-examine and 2 minutes for rebuttal.
I have no cross-examine. I asked for a debt reduction, but we'll
Could you
respect whatever decision.
Could you hear what he was saying?
I could not, other than something about you can cross-examine.
Okay,
She's asking if you heard what I was saying before about the land values in this area. Was I intelligible through the microphone?
No.
Okay. I looked at our sales comps to see if they're better developed, better improved land, if they have been tidied up or cleared or stubbed out utilities or anything like that. And they're just raw land sales. Some of them are just like loose dirt. Some of them are not even mowed. Some have trees, some don't. The indicated price per square foot is anywhere from $2.50 to like $7, kind of hovering around $5 a foot in this neighborhood. The subject is valued at $2.80 a square foot. And I was just saying, I get it. It's behind the Walgreens, and you could be looking at something nicer than a Walgreens, but it's just a nice neighborhood, and I don't think a buyer is going to be too upset about being across the street from Walgreens, and that'll just reflect in the sales.
Okay. So
You have 4 minutes, Gary.
So with the loss of the trees and the confinement of the 3 surrounding fences, along with the blocked view, would that not lower the square footage price from, let's say, 280 to 250 or somewhere in between?
Hang on.
Give him, he's checking it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I mean, it's a judgment call. I would say we wouldn't, because I don't think that it's gonna. I don't think anybody's gonna actually end up getting to pay less for this. I think our value is probably a little bit light because we're trying to do it equitably. I think the bigger thing keeping the value from running out of control is actually not that it's in a Walgreens, but it's that it's in the city. And because of that, the cost of developing it is going to be a little bit higher. But I think our value is good. Of course, there's a margin there. I mean, 40, 42, 44, it's all anywhere around there. I don't, for us to no change was made to this property this year. I don't see anything telling us that our number's too high,
Gary, you still have 2 minutes and a half to talk.
Well, in my closing comment, then until I have it surveyed for the proper square footage to see that it really is 15,000 square feet, or if it's something lower, I'll respect the amount at where it is now.
Okay.
Thank you, Gary.
What are you checking?
Use our picto.
He's gonna see if he can't measure it.
Okay, we're measuring, Eamon's measuring the property.
Yeah, this is like it's not perfect. It's not a survey, but it's usually good for spotting errors.
Yes, and I also want to make sure that my neighbors have placed their fence on the correct property line, which you should be able to see some of that in the CAD as far as this.
Well, our shapefile layer doesn't line up perfectly with the aerial because the aerial is actually taken like in a moving plane. It's kind of, it's not perfect. Great. Anybody know what 0.34 is?
No.
What's our square footage on the subject? Are we good?
15, 14.
It says
Uh,
50. Somewhere around there.
Gary, tell us the square footage again, Gary, please.
Well, according to the Aransas CAD evidence, it says it's 15,000.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it looks like it is. It's 15,000.
Okay.
Already indicated he's willing to accept 42,000. Is that correct, Gary?
There is an adjustment on that. There's a reland on. I know.
That could be on everything in the block.
Gary, did you hear me?
Please repeat.
I said you had indicated you were willing to accept the 42,000 that we have placed on the property.
That's correct.
Make a motion on account number 33607. I believe it's regarding the market value.
Yes.
The district has shown that the median market sales value is 43,283, which is above the noted value on this property. And so we're going to leave the amount at 42,000.
I second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. So I'm closing that hearing and I'm opening up on case number 2020-1736, account number 46527. And that is Water Street, apartment 202. Gary, do you want to go first or do you want the district to go first?
I think it would be in the best interest of all if I went first.
All right. You may start.
Okay. Well, we're back at Laguna Reef, unit number 202, as indicated, is on the second floor. It is also a single left-hand bedroom, identical in design as 407 was, that was stated earlier today, and similar to both 408 and 412, which are bedrooms. Again, it was listed as 50% complete in 2018, and in 2019, permits were pulled and renovation began concurrently with the others, and it was also uninhabitable as the others were in January of 2020. And we do expect to finish here, but in January of 2020, they were on the same schedule as the others. Being
Yes.
The 60% complete.
This one was a little more than 60% complete, and I say that because it had its countertops and cabinetries in place. However, the bathroom, including the shower, toilet, had not been finished.
So I'll just let you know where kind of my thoughts are on the percentage thing. At 50% complete, I'm looking for studs from the walls. That's kind of, you know, that's what you'll see, stubs from.
Yes, this one was
utilities.
taken down to studs.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, interrupted. Forgive me.
5% complete. You could live in it. I mean, it'd be like you got home project going on, but, and you know, maybe you've got some leaks in the roof and stuff, but you could totally live there and use it in some sort of limited state. So the 60% was just some middle ground between 50 and 75, rounding down, didn't want to be 62.5. And if it's a little bit better, this one has flooring and that one has tiling done, it's okay. I mean, we can't get that detailed about everything. It's not that precise. So, you had the other one that was a little bit less done. This one's a little more done. I put them all at 60%. I'm okay with 130 for all of them that are like that.
Are you good with that, Gary?
I am good with that. I think that would be fair enough.
And I'll make a motion regarding account 46527, and addressing incorrect appraised market value. The protester has indicated that condo was approximately 60% complete. Therefore, we're going to reduce the price to $130,000.
I second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. So I now close that hearing. So Gary, you'll be getting notification via mail on all these new values. And also, if you wish to take further steps, what those are and how you do so. Would please fill out a survey on your appraisal review board experience.
Yes.
Thank you,
Okay.
Shirley.
Awesome. Have a great weekend.
Okay. Will that survey come in the form of this call or a written document?
No, it's a piece of paper. You'll get it with the stuff that gets sent to you with the determination order.
If it isn't in the envelope that comes with it, it'll at least tell you where to go to fill it out.
Okay. I'll
Okay.
make a point to.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We would appreciate that. And thank you for presenting good evidence.
Well, you're welcome. I hope to be more organized in the future. The next time we have a protest, but that may be a long time from now.
Well, that would be good. Let's hope you don't have to come back and protest.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so where are we?
We're done for the 10
Morning.
o'clock.
Okay, so then let me go get Val.
I guess that's it, right?
I don't know. I think it is.
Destin. Hanging out at the beach. Hanging out in Destin, right?
Where is that?
Destin, Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Big old sea snail.
What I meant was,
Just hanging out in Destin.
lunch, and we'll see you much later.
We're done, right? We can go have lunch early?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Does she live there?
No, they took a little, said spontaneous family trip.
Oh, cool.
But
What are you looking at?
somebody's in Destin, Florida. They're next to this crazy snail.
All right, I am passing out an affidavit that I need y'all to sign. All of the.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah. Like all black and white.
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge though. Look at it.
Beth, did you email it to me?
Oh, yeah.
I emailed you, Ramona.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
It does?
Everything's up here.
Oh.
And that's it for the morning.
Okay, so this afternoon, have you gotten back any, I'm just gonna give y'all both,
Yeah, I'll
and
send
y'all
both
do
of you.
whatever you
I'll
want.
figure it out. Thank you.
Okay, so looking at,
We have in-persons this afternoon, do you know that?
do you have any of these?
Yeah, we do.
Cause is Scott here?
No,
Okay, and so if Eamon and you were back here and Mike isn't here, then no, none of these have been settled.
Yeah, no, nobody's,
what do you mean?
Oh, I see.
she's
what you're
saying in case somebody
Yeah.
called this morning.
Oh,
Cause you're
No
here
dice.
with us,
No
I mean,
dice.
so.
Yeah.
yeah, no, they haven't, it's settled.
You know what? They keep saying that there's no appraisers up front. Beth is a class one appraiser and Val
And
is an
Val
RPA.
has an RTA.
So,
But do they do it?
no, it's not part of
No.
her position, but like Scott's an accountant. The dude's a licensed CPA and he's like current on it.
Mm.
He keeps it current. So it's like, people are like, well, I'm an accountant.
I'm in
CPA."
training.
And he's like, "I'm
Well,
CPA."
so am I, so yeah. That's cool.
But yeah, they're appraisers and notaries everywhere you look. Hey, and then we'll give you responsibilities, we'll make you make decisions.
No, I know it's coming.
So what if somebody were to say, yes, they're licensed appraiser, then what?
Then they just have to disclose it,
Oh, okay.
that's all it is, they have to.
Like,
Okay,
no
yeah,
one's
what
ever
happens if
said
they
that,
say-
but what is,